we're coming to you live from a rare Sunday occurrence. So hopefully everyone is nice and rested up. Well, on the internet, I know that we're not rested up.
I think we've confirmed that at least two of us are not nice and rested up.
But that's okay, because you don't need much but good people and good content to have a good time with Dungeons and Dragons. We could literally talk about how fascinating the masonry is in this cathedral, and it would still be fun. Maybe not for people viewing, but that's okay. All 1.5 of you can go Google and see if we're being accurate or not.
Good.
Let's see here. So I do want to start kicking back up trivia and recap. So that, because last session's big thing last Saturday was, let's get back in the swing. Let's figure out, like, our characters, who they are, how they act. There is no shortage of non-player characters, and remember, like, not to kill me by spending like 8% of the interactions with the NPCs, because I will die. Trying to remember they're all unique personalities, especially when I'm getting back in the swing of things. I did not make a map for today's session. A lot of it's theater of the mind. It's just being a lot of travel, so it would be very time intensive to make an entire town. And Observatory for play should probably be in for like one day. That said, if you guys decide to stay and get distracted with something else, or something that suits your fancy, absolutely go ahead and create one. I think we still have one from 6th season that I can convert over. I think it was 6th or 5th.
Is that
At the very minimum, it was 6 because Orion was involved with it, with the kiddo and the Oni.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because
I think
it was because his trial was actually at the observatory, or underneath.
Which is why we had to
go
there.
Right.
Right.
So,
yeah. Okay.
I digress. Welcome. Let's. I
have a question.
You're allowed to ask questions. I will permit it. This time and every time. What's up?
So the trivia. Where do I type in my buzzer?
Okay. So let's all. Part of this is remembering Foundry. So if you go to the right side of Foundry, you should have in-character roles, out-of-character Foundry, and Twitch.
Yes.
If you go to out-of-character.
Okay.
And Twitch. Twitch? Yeah, go to Twitch. If you type that and say, hello, I will see that. The Twitch stream will see that. Also, if people are talking in the Twitch stream,
perfect,
it will also communicate back, as exampled here. Example. See? Spaghetti.
Okay. Spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
So not only do you want to put it here to buzz in, and I now have the order of which buzzing in occurs, people may ask interesting questions, may throw you some lifelines, phone of friends. We're not exactly like, a big stream, so I don't expect any spoilers to be the thing. If so, that would be hilarious, but not today. All right. So some trivia questions. Let me clear the screen with this 0. And because there's only 3 of us, if you ask the last one, you can do the next one. It's not a big institution. All right. Geographically on Aurora, where is the party right now? Cap.
We are slightly south of Nexus.
Mm-hmm.
At the keep, Jacob White's Nexus Keep.
Is Nexus Keep. Yep. 25 point. That is correct. And for follow-up, if you were traveling on foot, how long would it take to get from where you came from, which is his manor, near Crystallis, to where you are currently, if you traveled on foot?
Like 1 to 2 weeks?
Yeah, 2 to 3 weeks, correct.
2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. So you teleported a grand distance ahead by the use of Jacob White's very private jet, basically. His equivalent there of his teleportation system. All right. Next question is, you ran across one of the major story arcs, one of the major threats in Season 10, which was the threat of plundering on Aurora. Who was leading that invasion? Llamas. So that's Alexa.
All the way. Mazikeen.
Mazikeen. And tell me a bit, what do you know about Mazikeen?
So, big boob devil lady.
Big boob devil lady. That's a great start.
She...
Very Resident Evil. Great. Okay, gotcha.
I think, like, there's some things that we were able to infer, like the birthday party that was like a one-shot in Avernus was most likely for her.
Mm-hmm.
She has a keep in Avernus with an army, and she had, we were fairly positive, had a contract with Jacob White that brought Reth out into Arhor'ha while she held on to Luna as like a captive. Like, cool, you get this, but I'm going to hold on to Luna for as long as whatever. We don't know the basics of it. That's why we're going to the observatory, is to figure out, hey, what, why. She did.
She did.
She did.
Important.
Yeah,
Important to know. She did.
She's now dead, and she had a thing against Gig, and she was trying to take over Arhor'ha for souls. She's doing something with souls. We also know that.
A devil, so yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and she has been doing this since season 1.
Since season 1. So we've been doing Aurora Adventures for 7 years now. So this is one of the plot lines that cruises in its same velocity, touched or not, coming to a conclusion in season 10 by murdering her.
Good. Like, sometimes you just gotta like encase someone in your blood and harden it like crystal, and then push them through a portal, and then hit them with, you know, a club.
It's true. You gotta join. You have to join the club by, you know, introducing them very, very forcefully.
Yeah.
Forceful club introduction. Okay. So 25 on that one. Very muy bueno. All right. Now for the fun one. In this cathedral, what are the names of all of the NPCs that are currently here? So not the 3 players. Wants to give that a shot. Cap.
Actually, Sin, you want to go ahead?
Sin,
You want to go? Is it? I see it. It shows,
No, it's me, but I'm giving way for Sin.
Yeah, let's do round robin. Let's just list one until we run out. Like, just keep going in a circle, and we'll start with Sin. So go Sin, Alexa, Cap. So
on beat.
Oh god.
What's the first one? Oh,
God.
What's one?
Luna.
Pisces.
Gig.
Ozzy.
Virgo.
Kind of.
Solus.
Definitely.
I mean, if we're gonna go
Capra.
Is there someone else?
There's at least one more, unless I've completely overlooked that you said it already.
I mean, I'm looking at the people that we have here. I didn't, unless we're going like Panger.
No.
So I think we did Virgo.
Did we call out? So the one I think that I didn't hear, but then again, we also went through 8. Ozzy?
Yeah, I called Ozzy.
Yeah, we said
Okay.
it.
All right, then we're all good.
Yay.
No one would forget Ozzy. You can't.
I don't know. He had a pretty
Let
prominent role in last session's emotional storm.
When Sin tried to talk about feelings.
Yeah.
I'm an emo kid.
Speaking to another emo kid, and then they beat the shit out of each other.
True.
Okay. It's NPCs. Let's go something that's more subjective. And say one for first of all, everyone collectively 25 points experience, and we'll do one more, and we'll do it round robin. And I'll start. Let's see. I'll go backwards. So I'll do Alexa.
Oh, okay.
Capsin. What is one thing you learned last session?
Oh, so
I need to turn this thing off before it starts freaking out.
Oh
again.
yeah, you're saying I'm starting?
Yeah, you're starting.
That's fine. Okay. God. One thing that we learned last session.
You learned.
That I learned last session.
You.
I mean, I was gonna say that Gigs it did, but we knew that.
That's not bad. Yeah, I think we've learned
that's nothing.
that.
That's nothing we learned. We learned that yes, because Gig it challenged Mazikeen to like a fight and like an exchanging of like, hey, if I win, I get your place. If you win, you get my place. That he does have control of the contracts, but that he doesn't have to disclose the information of the contracts. Because he's Gig.
fair. So you learned that Gig has contracts and is not saying what the terms of the contracts are, including like who can hold them.
Yeah.
Yep. And to follow that up with it too is that Sin, who may have claim to them as well, is unable to have the same information. Like, is not.
She did try to think really hard.
She did try to think really hard about them. However,
It's true.
deep thoughts did not generate knowledge. All right. So one thing, Cap, what was one thing you learned last session?
That Solus can acupuncture needle her hair.
That is right. Yep.
Heal.
She definitely
Come on, man.
acupunctured Sin's arm, which is pretty cool. Yep. And Sin, what was one thing you learned last session?
That hypothetically, if Sin were to have killed Mazakine, and she had been the one that had gotten on the contracts, that her life would be in danger because all these other devils that are wanting to do the same thing would be wanting to go after her.
That's it. Yep.
Like a big giant target on her back.
That's right. Yep.
Would it be your target?
Would be your target.
True. True.
Very, very Breaking Bad. I'm taking that from Eisenberg.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Create a void. All right. 25 points across the board.
Yay.
And let's jump on in. Again, we may have a short session. We may have a full session. Meh. We'll see. Where we left off, I'll set for the characters, and I'll set for atmosphere, and then we'll jump scene. So current character situation is that Gig was recently resolving the conversation with, Alexa, basically everyone around this contract situation. And Pisces has finished her aside with Captios with some recommendations about like grief and fear and what she's responsible for, and how Aqua is nearby too, and it's advantageous to make use of that. Luna's being a goof. Luna's being Luna, so she's near Ozzy. Gig is dead center in the spotlight as he usually is, covered in blood. Ozzy is more emo than usual, and an angry emo kid at that. Solus is back to being quiet. So you're still standing in the cathedral, and the wreckage that it is, blood everywhere, devil bodies and their bits strewn across the cool stone flooring, across broken pews, scorched magical marks across the bits. You've got this nice warm lighting of the braziers to either side, with steps going up to the altar, and which is nicely painted in what we believe to be Gig's blood, just blood everywhere. And the idea that it's time to move on. There's a statue of Virgo and Capra later on that has been moved, rather big, and an unconscious Ode, a pit fighter that was discussed earlier, in tow. There's
also, I don't know how this affects time-wise. Gig killed Alexa's bird?
Gig killed Alexa's bird, like chopped off Naru's head to make a point while Luna and Captios are playing cards. Also, Sin is a little worse for wear, having been pummeled repeatedly during a sibling talk with Ozzy. We'll call it a sibling talk with Ozzy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The only person who's like been unscathed is Captios.
Captios, she's like, I'm playing cards. I'm just keeping it nice. So yeah, like at least Alexa will want to stay until she can get Nuru back.
Yes. So at this point, what we'll kick off is that Nuru has been restored. Yeah. So we'll kick off with the inciting event to this session being Nuru is restored, and Alexis, since that's the case, and scene starting with you.
Yeah. So seeing his little wings starting to move again, she'll just like hug him a little bit, like I'm so sorry, and then put him back on her shoulder, and then just like stare at Gig and be like, we need to go. And then
Gig just has like a long devil tummy, just like licks some of the blood off the side of his face when you stare at him.
You go to the observatory to get the information that Gig will not provide.
So, well, I mean, we totally just got done, killing that devil lady thing, and Capra, and technically also kind of Virgo. I don't want to say that I'm hurt, but I mean, if we're gonna be traveling through the wilderness, this probably should maybe
We're in
heal.
We're in Jacob's thing. Is there wilderness? I didn't think we're in a.
Are we porting there?
And like she's like looking at like Alexa's looking at Captios. Like, aren't we in the same town as the observatory? Isn't that where you?
The keep, and Captios knows the keep directly connects to a town. So leaving the keep would put you in a town.
Okay.
Yeah, versus like wilderness.
But only like the candles would know this. Sin's just along for the ride in that.
Yeah, she's like, we're going somewhere. All right.
Yeah.
It's like there won't be any wilderness. We'll be in a town.
Well, the town, and then the observatory is in the wilderness. So
the observatory is adjacent to the town. It's just a little outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
So,
it
like, how
visible to everyone? Can
Yeah.
everyone see?
Once you get away from the fake stained glass windows, you'd be able to see it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting. Okay.
how do we get out of here?
Well, as you look across the cathedral with your eyes, you notice the place of which you came from, which is lower, and straight out, there are doors. Now, there previously was a portal there, but that portal is since inert.
Oh, I didn't realize there was a door. Okay.
South of technically where this map is. So you've got you got an altar, steps up the altar, all this wonderful like light and whatnot. And as you go down where the pews are for this audience hall, there is a main entrance.
Oh, I see. Yep, those look like.
So you're not entombed. I mean, it'd be the worst audience hall in the world if no one could enter it. It's like the lecture by the professor.
Or the best one, because no one can leave.
Right? That would be like a Gig's audience hall. It's like, it's vast, but no one can get in. Insanity.
Captious, unconscious man on the floor. Can you do like Tensor's disc or something to carry him?
Captius has a headache right now because he's been using Virgo's powers a bit, and so he's just like, yes.
Would it be easier if I did it? Would you prefer if I did it instead?
Yeah, that would be great, Alexa. I have this pounding migraine right now.
Yeah, that's cool. You've had a hard day of card playing. I should go sit down.
It's true.
Meanwhile, Sid's sitting there with fucking blood down her face, a healing broke arm. Yeah, a real rough day. Uh-huh.
And so Alexa's, she's going to start casting or doing the ritual for Tensor's disc because Captius taught it to her a while back with her. Now she can learn ritual stuff, which was originally meant to just carry forward. But then forward, it's fine. So,
well, technically, I mean, forward's still being carried with you, just, Iron Man style.
Yeah. So then, So then she'll sit there and get Tensor's disc. Be like, I'm going to need help getting him on the disc.
And Captius is sitting there like, don't look at me. I can barely lift my own arms, to be honest.
And then like Alexa looks at Sin and like sees how kind of banged up she is. And rather than looking at Sin, she'll actually look to Solus. Like, Solus, can you help me get him on the disc?
So Solus looks to Alexa like she was just in her own world for a moment, like, what? She's like, what?
You can use your hair to help me get him
yes
on the disc.
So she full on Rapunzel's the situation. She like whips her hair over a beam and wraps it like two parts, like, I don't know, like those straps that you do when you pick like a large piece of furniture up. She like two long strands of hair, wraps it around Ode, and then just starts like pulling back like a levy system, like to slowly raise him up. Because she also is not particularly strong, but her hair is. Yeah,
like her hair is. I think Alexa's aware of that, like how strong. And also, Sin did just get her arm broken, so stress of picking up a human, not gonna be fun.
My bracers will heal me when I'm not raging. I can use my hit dice to roll them and get health. I don't know how to roll my hit dice because there's a S rest and a long rest, but I don't know what to press.
I think S rest, because S rest would be the short rest.
Yeah. S rest will allow you to roll dice.
Okay, I'm gonna do that while Owen is being placed up on that disc.
while we're moving the unconscious man onto a disc.
While that's happening, Captius is going to survey the scene because we're about to enter a town, and we've got like these 3 tieflings with us, 2 of whom are covered in blood, one of them who looks like a monster, and that's Ozzy. Ozzy looks like them.
Yeah, I'm like, which ones are covered in blood and which one looks like monsters in your opinion?
Right.
And it's not a good look if we walk outside. Like
Yeah.
this.
Do we need to prestidigitation some blood off of people?
Yeah, you look pretty motley.
Yeah.
Pretty frightening.
Is there some like holy water that we can just like, not holy water, just like cleansing water? We can just like dunk them in to clean them.
You mean
Down
water?
below.
Water.
Right. Just regular old water.
Water.
Yeah, well, for a fact, you know there's water below.
I mean,
Yeah.
Alexa doesn't, but yeah.
Right,
so-
the rest of the party does, except for Alexa and Solus.
Do you guys want to wash off the blood? She looks at like Sin and Gig.
I mean, we could, but there also happens to be this really angry water elemental thing down by the water. So there's that.
As she says that, I'm gonna literally. Sin, can you describe where? Is there like blood all in your hair and your face?
Yeah, like where Ozzy bashed my head into the wall several times.
Word.
So,
Okay.
Remember that
You know,
time?
like- She's got
Heavy
the
bodice.
anime, like just the blood on one
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
So as she
Exactly.
says that, I'm actually just gonna prestidigitate some of that. Like it's just gonna like evaporate from her face.
Alexa's gonna kind of like lean over to Cap, be like, should we do the same for Gig?
Gig, who's like standing in like a, you know how like people like stand in, like a fountain, but imagine like the fountain's like thick like fondue, but it's his blood. It's like that's how he's just standing there, like the messiah of his own blood.
Is he still actively bleeding?
I mean the only way you would know is the puddle is getting any larger, which doesn't appear to be. I mean, at a certain point, you're like, do I check for flow? Because that's a lot of blood.
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna prestidigitate a small like hand towel into my hand, and I'm gonna look at Gig and be like, Gig, I bet you can't clean yourself off with just this towel.
I see what you're doing here, and challenge accepted.
So I like toss it to him.
Uh-huh.
I like.
Yeah, and
I just like yeah.
So he takes the towel and he looks at it from. I was like, this is the puzzle of the moment. Towel. So that's Gig for a while.
Yeah.
Good.
Well, we look a little less threatening, I guess.
That's always the goal. Just a little less threatening each day.
No, the goal is. I'm curious now whether Gig can clean himself up with just this hand towel. Captio says.
How is he doing?
And it's literally like
Okay, well, time for the show. All right, so Gig says he got about a good minute looking at this, and then he walks like squish across his own blood, and looks to Pisces, and says, "Can I get And Pisces is like looks at him like, use your words, Gig."
No, just
Just a little. About that much. It's like, It's like, I need a small soul. And Pisces looks at him like, what are you gonna give me for it? It's like, my eternal gratitude. Pisces is like, I have that already. Gig's like, entertainment? Pisces says, this is not entertaining. It's like, but it could be. Could be entertaining. She's like, yes. It's like, you don't know it'll be entertaining. It's like, low blow. That's not helping. I'm like, it's not, is it? He's like, How about just this, solve your own problem? Like, okay. All right, well.
How's having a little soul gonna help him clean himself more?
So then he looks then he looks over to Soul, and Soul just like steps like 2 steps back because Nova. Then looks over to Nurse, looks over to Alexa, and then looks at her bird.
Alexa's going to murder him. If she like holds on, she's like, I will destroy you.
The bird's like gets like the whole entire like bird head thing that gets popped up when you hold it too much. Yeah, the mane. He thinks about this. Then he goes over and he walks over to Sin.
Oh no.
Puts a bloody hand on Sin's good shoulder. How you doing there, champ?
First of all, don't touch me.
And then like it's like just doesn't move his hand over. It's just like blood that just got pressed off. It's like it's just going down onto your clothes.
What do you want?
Just a bit of your time.
No.
Then he leans in and whispers just a Sin. Do you want to show up, Captios?
Oh.
I look back to Cap.
And I'm literally there because I'm like flicking the implicit gold coin that I like bet Gig just in my hand.
Oh, I don't know what he's doing. Oh God. Sure.
I'm like looking at it, heads, flip it.
It's like, okay.
Tails.
It's like, and he leans in and says like, just know, 1, this is temporary, and 2, and then you hear the words, don't freak out, but it sounds like there's cotton over your ears. Like,
What did he do?
but when you hear that, you realize that you're looking at yourself with Gig talking to yourself, and your vantage point is low. I'd say about shoulder length, looking up at yourself.
Can I talk?
You try to talk and you can't talk. You seem to have no mouth.
No.
So everyone else sees a towel just like wiggling about.
Oh my God.
It's like
He did not.
Did he turn you into a towel?
slowly but surely you're able to move around like hands, legs, and then Gig puts you on the ground, which you're now at ground level, like if you became a mouse, but you're a towel, and you're very thirsty. Like, but the only thing that helps your thirst is mopping up blood.
Oh my God. This doesn't feel like winning the bet. This.
I still can't talk, right?
You can't talk, but you can move as a towel.
You can get all over Gig's body.
I'm sure Pisces is going to be so happy.
That's right. It's the slow clean.
I'm like actually crying. Oh my God.
Oh, please draw a sin towel.
What a sin towel. Just towel with
Little
googly
horns.
eyes. Little
Like,
horn.
little horns just sticking up.
This is the weirdest South Park episode ever.
It's like towel, but sin.
Yeah.
The first thing I'm gonna do is like I'm looking at my towel self, like just
You are very high rank, very absorbent. Yeah.
yeah. I will dip my little corner of my towel arm into the blood, and I will paint on the ground where it's not where all the blood is. Fuck you, Gig.
So you absorb it out. What's ironic is that you are like a slime or a sponge. When you do this, it's like a straw. You're like a New Yorker of like the 60s before like the Wall Street crash. You're like, it's good stuff. You're just soak it straight up.
Oh my god.
So like when you
this is
do it, you try to
horrible.
smear it. You can't smear it, but you can do it like through reversal, like cutting it out. Think of like a eraser tool in Photoshop.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that then. And just write, "Fuck you, Gig."
And then Gig like puts one arm around Sin, who's just like very like dazed the moment, and just thumbs up Captios.
Oh my god. Yeah, I guess I'll just clean up the blood and then I'll crawl up the side of Gig and like sit my towel self on his shoulder and like take my little corner arm of my like cloth towel thing and like poke him in the cheek and like get all the blood off.
Please poke him in the eye in the process.
Like, yeah.
Squeeze like a squeegee.
While this is happening, I'm gonna prestidigitate what in this world people would know as the cleanup song from Barney. But in that world,
Clean up.
Yeah, Luna's all for it. She's like, Luna's clapping along.
God. I hate
Yep.
this. Yeah, I'll just do that to the sound of cleanup, I guess.
What is Alexa doing throughout all this scenario as like
Yeah, she's like, she's looking at it, and then she's looking at Cactus, like, that, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but that towel is not just the hand towel that you gave him, right? And I'm sure.
not anymore.
Well, I'm pretty sure that Alexa could, because perception, tell that Sin is out of it in some way.
Just like,
Yeah, she's just like sitting there like, Gig, did you take some of Sin's soul and make it a towel?
I am using my personal ability, like a hand, to clean myself with a towel. Alexa,
I don't even.
I want you to just he stands like he's like, and meanwhile he's got like Weekends at Bernie's Sin with him, so it's like he just kind of like does a circle, like breathe this in. This is what we call interesting. You know what a boring person would do? Yeah, that's you. It's you. You.
Yeah, I'm. Thank you for showing me what interesting is. I'll make sure in the future.
He looks at Pisces as like Alex keeps talking. Go, keep talking. It's like he looks at Pisces like, this is my good deed today. I am educating a droll candle on how to live before she inevitably dies a horrible death. I mean,
Taliesin slaps him across the face.
there's like this big like exactly like 90-degree angle towel indentation. And like he like just he like looks at it and I'm like, see? Didn't see that one coming, did you?
Just will she go back to normal when you're done?
See, you're missing the point. He's shaking, so he's like, you're missing the point. Not
Just had absorb all your blood, and then you're gonna put her back to normal. Does she now have all your blood in her?
Ooh, let's find out. And looks at Taliesin as she like gets the last bit of blood back. Like gives him like, are you ready? Are you ready to go back?
Slap.
Slap. All right, so with slap it becomes more like it's a normal like wet towel on his face, and Sin, you're back to normal. As I say, you're back in your own body.
You feel fuzzy on the inside.
You do heal for 50 points of health. in your turn.
And now Giggle is like completely clean, right?
He is clean.
I sigh, and I like flip the gold coin to him,
Yes.
and I'm like, "You got it."
Never lost it. And he takes the gold coin, like bites into it like an old timey person, but he's got big devil teeth, so he like breaks it in half.
Oh god.
And it's like what someone did when they thought it was like supposed to be chocolate. He just kind of plays off. His crunch. He pockets the rest of it. He's got a half-eaten minted gold coin.
Gotta be fun. I like Alex just look over to Sin like, Sin, are you okay?
I don't want to talk about it. Ever. Just don't even. She like turns around, like grabs Wraith and like puts it over her shoulder. Like, can we please, please leave this place?
I mean,
And then like slow, like Gig turns like, you want me to answer that?
I'm never listening to anything that you recommend ever again.
And he slowly turns back around. Okay, I'll just do that.
Oh my god. That's horrifying. Legitimately.
It's so creepy.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes.
very a Beetlegeist from ReZero.
Yeah, seriously. Fuck.
And I just like exhale, be like, all right, everyone's clean. We're still gonna get weird looks, but maybe less weird looks.
So to give you what Capdio saw to the rest of the party, you have Sin, which outside of being a tiefling, is pretty tief. That's it. That's the worst. It's like the barbarians. The Khal Drogo walks into King's Landing sort of situation. You've got Luna, who's about the same as besides the horns and whatnot. She seems very sociable. Captius and Alexa, very socially acceptable. You've got Gig, who is undeniably super devil, like huge like archdevil like horns, silver hair, flowing gaudy like red and black robes, hands that extend out like twice the amount like they're talons. You've got Ozzy, who looks like a monstrosity with wings.
Is Ozzy bloody at all? Do we also need to clean Ozzy?
I mean, has Sin's blood on him, but like he didn't participate in the fight, so he's not bloody from combat. Solus, who's relatively socially acceptable, situation looking, and Pisces. So really, your big, say, perception issues is how do you handle with Gig and Ozzy. We'll tackle the big three, and there's no real third to speak of.
Do we have like hoods? Something? Cloaks?
I mean, Gig has his, fellow humans cloak. Hello, fellow humans. Human fellas. That whole entire shtick.
Yeah, he might need to be a fellow human fella. Ozzy's going to be a little bit harder.
Yep.
Especially because of the mood that Ozzy is in.
Yes.
Disguise self? Does anybody have that?
I was gonna say, like, does anyone have like a disguise kit or something to help?
I'm sure a little makeup is not going to help Ozzy.
Yeah.
The right amount of blush, it could just. Does anyone have a cloak or something that we could put just for him? Because I think the biggest thing is going to be the wings and the horns.
Well, he has a cloak because he's worn the cloak in Nexus, or not Nexus. Was it Nexus? No, the other one. The one where Ref came.
He wore the cloak in New Haven.
New Haven.
You still have it?
He's not wearing it. Do you want to ask him? Do you want to engage with Ozzy? That's really the real big question here.
Alexa's going to take a deep breath. You're like, Ozzy? Actually, Alexa stops. She's like, hold on. She looks to Luna. And she's like, Luna, do you think that you could help us get the cloak on Ozzy?
And Luna looks to Alexa, and she's like, she's just kind of staring for a moment. She's just like, it's like she's sizing you up. It's very uncomfortable. It's like what an adult would do, like a merchant. Like, what am I going to get out of you, sort of thing. Like, the silence continues. It continues.
Like, we're about to go into a town, and I just don't want people to try to attack Ozzy or do anything against him. And I know he's in a little bit of a sensitive spot, so I think as his sister, it'd be really great if you could help us to get him to wear a cloak.
And she looks from Alexa to Sin. When you start saying, like, as your sister, you should do this. Like,
I would ask Sin, but he punched her in the face last time. I think he might not break your arm.
But do you know he won't break my arm?
I don't, but if you would like, I can be there so that if he does, he will break my arm instead.
And then, like, keep in mind, Nura was on her shoulder when it got decapitated. She's like, I
That's fair.
question your reflexes.
Well, then, can you come with me as I ask him to put on a cloak?
I'll be 2 steps behind you. The whole way,
Okay.
nice lady.
Okay. So I was like, oh, okay. Walk up to Ozzy and be like, hey, Ozzy, we're about to go into a town. Would you mind putting a cloak on? I'm worried that the horns and the wings might cause an uproar. And we just want to keep as low profile as possible.
Roll persuasion.
Yep.
First, not first roll, because we have hit dice. First, skill check of the night.
Yeah. Gonna click my name and then gonna click persuasion.
It's an 8.
Oh,
Literally one of the lowest I could have.
yeah.
You rolled like a 3, yeah, on the
Yeah,
die.
I have a +5 to persuasion. It's like, no.
Okay. So you make your case,
Mm-hmm.
and Ozzy looks at Alexa and just does the same thing that Luna did. Only it's
More menacing.
more, yes, menacing. To very
It's like, Do you have a cloak?
And I have a cloak.
Okay. What can I do for you that will get you to put on a cloak?
He's like,
Alexis is like, I'm gonna get murdered. Okay, let me just like preparing for like her neck to get snapped as it gets closer to him. Like, all right. She gets a little bit closer. You're gonna
Sid's
headbutt me, aren't
watching
you?
really closely.
he gets in real close to,
And she, like Alexa's like protectively like clutching onto where Ford's soul is in case it's like
yeah, like
just
Luna's
so-
like at your like your like legs, like,
yeah, like there we go.
and they stand there for a while. Like, you can smell the sulfur off of Ozzy. It's very distinct. It's not quite sandalwood cologne. It's not comfortable. It kind of stings the nose.
Yeah. Tinges the nostrils.
And roll insight, and I'll go ahead and say where I'm going with this.
Oh god. Guys, this might be where Alexa dies. She just
I want you to
Oh thank god. That could have gone horribly.
Ooh.
apologize to Sin. And with your insight, you pick up 2 things. One, the words are rough. It's like someone who's used to using language to offend people, like using like you did this, everyone hates you, to being more objective, like, this action is wrong, this offends people. But he's trying a different way of communicating. And his statement was, to repeat again, because that's context. It's like, I need you to apologize to Sin.
What action do you think I need to apologize for?
You can tell insight, because he's getting irritable. Everything you've done, will do, have done, things that I have done, Cap's done. He just, at this point, like, just going back into old Ozzy, like being a little bit more overreaching.
Yeah.
One might say that he goes past his boundaries on a frequent basis,
What?
as though he doesn't know what the limits are and just breaks right past them.
And like Alexa, it takes a moment you know, like hearing his words, because like of all the things that she thought he was going to ask her to do, that was not one of them. But she's like kind of like taking a breath and like understanding that it's progress for him. Like she's gonna have to figure something out. She's like, she's like, okay. And
he steps back and he starts going through his pack to get his cloak, and then just kind of like plays it off like they made some secret deal. If someone really wants to hear that, you can roll perception.
Okay. I have to roll perception?
No. If someone else wanted
to. I was like, hold on.
Yeah.
Perception.
Because that conversation was very whispery. That would be like a go different room sort of thing. So both of you do hear it because you rolled very high.
Mm-hmm.
And he's playing it off and is going back to get his cloak out of the bag. But he's doing it really slow.
Like waiting for Alexa to
do
something. So then like Alexa will come over and she'll go like she'll walk over to Sin, like, Sin, can I talk to you for a little bit? And she'll pull him like within hearing distance of Ozzy.
So he's like a person that's going to tie his shoes, but like so slow.
Yeah.
Going through
While
my
doing
pack.
that, I'm gonna lean into Pisces and be like, "This is gonna be interesting."
Pisces is like, I do like interesting. You can tell it's like, this is good.
He's the one with the popcorn now.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Okay.
like Alexa takes a deep breath and she's like, when we met in Avernus, I saw you as a lost lamb that needed help. I needed guidance to help get out of the situation and to become what I perceived as a better person or a better being. And in a way, I feel like I used you to get out of Avernus because I did not have faith in myself that I was strong enough to get out by myself. And there were times that it was terrifying, but I think by doing that, I forced changes on you that you weren't ready for or that didn't need to happen because I was forcing my vision of what you should be onto you. And I just want to apologize because I know that the actions, that the situations that have been created by that choice and that feeling that you need to change to be more of what I would see as what you need it to be caused a lot of emotional and mental turmoil that I know has led to you not understanding who you are and who you want to be. And when times got rough and I felt like I couldn't handle it, I left you to then figure out who you were and who you wanted to be without any tools, but just shame. And I just want to apologize because I know a lot of the steps that you are on wouldn't have happened. And you might have maybe led a better life if I hadn't made those choices for you.
Sin stands there for a moment.
And like where Cap and like Pisces are like, ooh, like time for some midday drama. Like he just like slides in like popcorn.
I mean, I've kind of moved on from that. I can't really go back and change what has happened, and I had to keep moving forward. That's what I've learned hanging out with this group. Weirdly also with Gig. I'm not here like blaming you for it. I mean, if anything, you kind of helped me because my entire goal was to go and burn down an entire city that includes women and children. So, I mean, there's that going for you helping through that. That sounds bad, right? That's a bad thing. Didn't do that.
I like this kind of like keeping an eye, like how is Ozzy reacting to the statements?
I mean, he's focusing on the bag, and he's like taking his cloak out, He's roll insight.
Yeah, I'm just very curious because like
and
it
then
is some...
a sin because like it feels like this might have been like a force as opposed to genuine apology. Roll insight as well on Alexa.
It is forced, but it also is something she's thought about.
Yeah. So for insight with a 13, you're not getting a whole lot out of him other than he's holding up his side of things. And but sin with a 17, like the insight's like this seems a little out of the blue.
Yeah. I mean, it does. Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
But then
kind
she
of
also
like-
heard what Ozzy said.
Right.
So,
Right.
So
so she's
she connects head dots.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm. This is weird. This is fine. Yeah, just don't. It's all good, Alexa. But this is not gonna be like this weird huggy thing. That's not gonna happen.
Alex only takes a deep breath. He's like, because at least from the perceptiveness of Alexa, I think she can kind of tell that like Sin's like, what, this is off. What is
Yeah.
this?
Mhm.
What is this? Why? And so like she takes a deep breath and she's like, like inside she's just like, I don't know to what level of apology will suffice for Ozzy.
Yeah.
And so
well,
she's like,
by this point, he has his cloak out and he's putting it on.
okay, good. And then, like it does feel like partially superficial. She's like, I just feel like it needs to be said. But then there's like a moment of a genuine feeling where she like actually reaches out and she like touches Sin's hand and just holds it. And she's like, no, but really, I am really sorry.
Slides her hand away. It's okay. Really.
Capios
Yeah.
claps
Right.
his hands and is like, all right, well now that's settled. And he
Yeah,
gets up, he
and now
like
Ozzy's
pops
wearing
up.
a cloak.
Yep,
He
cloak's
pops up.
on, hood's on. Ozzy's there. And Gig was like, "Oh man, they started touching hands and everything."
It's not as much as you making her literally shimmy all over your body. Am I wrong? That's how a towel would absorb blood off of a gig.
She didn't say no.
She also didn't say yes to that specific situation.
She knew what she was getting into.
Alexa looks to Sin. Did
Fucking sign up for the Hey, but you know what though? At the end of it, this is to Alexa. He did heal me for that.
While
Did
they're
he heal
doing
you
this,
because you
Yeah. What Cap? What
This
is up,
is-
man?
Cap's like, okay, it's time to like let's move. Like this is
Well, yeah, like
this is going
speak-
nowhere. And it's
We're not progressing to our goal of the world not ending.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
Like,
he gets down on one knee in front of Luna and like
oh,
holds his
Proposed
hands
to
like
Luna?
this and is like, are we all ready to go? And as he opens it, he prestidigitates a little butterfly that like flies away.
And
And
she's like in awe, like
and
a kid would be.
he sidesteps her and is just like, all right, let's do this. And just starts walking towards the exit. No nonsense.
Then Luna turns around and is like, "Let's go, he's in charge," and she goes off. Follows Captus like a lost puppy.
Ooh.
but like
Follow.
as we're walking, Alexa still looks at Sin like, but did he heal you because you absorbed his blood? Do you now have Gig's blood in you?
Alexa, I'm a breaker of fire and blood.
There's just thoughts that I have.
Kind of like theme.
Yeah.
Maybe. Do I feel more infernal to you, Alexa? Are my horns bigger? My claws longer?
Capios can hear this, so he turns around. He's like, no, they look about the same. And just keeps walking.
Right?
I'm saying that I'm like having this conversation with Lexa as like we're walking down.
Right.
Yep.
And as
Whatever.
you so as you have this
we're all
conversation
walking.
and you're walking down, clacking against the polished stone floor where it's not broken to bits by the heavy impact of the high-powered combat that happened previously. The doors themselves, these large double cathedral-style doors that are before you. You do not know if they're... Oh, okay, yeah, doors. I got...
Oh yeah. Are
Doors.
the doors trapped?
There's large doors. You could like fit a troll or an ogre through these things.
Mm-hmm.
There are two of them. They appear to have handles that are circular in nature. They do not appear to be keyholes. The frame itself seems heavily reinforced to handle such a large side door with hinges. They do not appear to be barred. They do not
They're
appear
runes.
to have runes. Actually, no. I take that back. There are no runes on the door. There are runes along the frame.
What do the runes say?
Hmm.
What language are the runes in?
The runes are in let's see here. They're in a dialect common equivalent of Latin. So they are quite legible. Like the old language. So they are in the equivalent of English. And they're like sanctimonious words, like all who enter here be blessed by the grace of, under the hallowed light of, may the words that are spoken here be held true.
Gotcha. So not like, hey, we're gonna burn you if you open this door.
Yes. It's more like words of sanctimoniousness. Of
Entering a holy place of like, hey.
Or a place of negotiation and truth, right? It's supposed to be ironically you're fighting in a treaty zone.
Hmm.
Oh. Okay. I think we're okay to open these doors.
Do you want me to? Okay. Sin walks up and she grabs onto the handle of the door and pulls.
Open just like a door might. So it's a bit
Nice.
Yeah. I mean,
Nice.
it doesn't require for their strength a high deal like person. Someone of sin strength has no trouble doing it. Like a choir boy might struggle with it, but like your average person could open the door. So when you do so, it goes to a following room, which seems much less lavish. It's like a corridor adjacent to, and you start to see natural lighting further on the far end of the corridor, at the very end of it. There are small alcoves and rooms to the side, of which we're not going to discuss. Because they don't lead you out.
We have a goal. Out. Is this what the whole place looks like? Like as we're walking through and Alexa's looking at it.
Yeah, it's a less lavish version of that room you were just in. Same sort of stone,
Yeah.
cut rougher as opposed to cut polished. Carpets that look like they were or have been well worn over time. Nothing horribly recent. As opposed to magical lighting and braziers, you have your more stock standard torches, most of which are currently extinguished. So the most lighting you see is the natural lighting peering in from the outside, which looks like it's a little past noon, some outside the subterranean area. And steps that get you to a slightly higher floor, like about a half floor or a full floor up, towards that direction.
Okay, so we gotta go up the stairs.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start walking. Ode in tow.
Ode in tow. Ode on a disc.
Like as we're walking, like looks like Captios and Sin. Like, so what did you guys have to do to get to this point anyway?
Oh, I have a friend blow up into fire and die. Chain things on the walls that try to grab us and kill us. Water elementals that make tornadoes of water death that we get trapped into and almost die. Other various traps that probably would have killed us.
We went through Jacob's army's training grounds.
Oh, okay. I was wondering what this was going to be
Backwards.
for Jacob. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
What kind of-
yeah, go ahead.
What kind
He
of
says
tests?
as he just keeps walking.
Yeah, like what kind of tests was he having his followers do? Like what kind of people is he trying to employ?
Teams. Alexa, teams of people.
Okay.
It was like a training ground for platoons. they there's some interesting stuff. We got some interesting stuff. Captios like opens his cloak. He's still wearing like uh who's Willis's like Targaryen cloak. So he
Yep.
opens that and he shows her like the bomb that we have. We have like one of those bombs left.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
He was like, this is like a timed bomb. We just have to mix these, and after about a minute, it explodes.
Nice.
We
How many
use
of these
that-
were you able to get? Like a whole bunch of these for the
No,
fight?
just one.
Okay. How big is the blast radius?
The size of a single room. I mean, I don't know. We were
I
in a
just-
room and we blew it up. So could
Could
have been bigger.
Clinical trials show room.
That'll be, and like you can see like when he's like, we got this one. It looks just like that'll be really good.
He just puts it away. He goes, glad to see you're still supportive as ever. And just keeps
Right.
walking.
That would be good, but disapproving mom statement.
Yeah.
What's the next statement?
And like you're noticing that he's almost he's not dismissive, but he almost like has no real like he's not expressing himself like a Captios would. Like in the past,
Yeah.
that disapproval would have been like he would have felt like you would have seen he would have felt it. But now he's just kind of like
Like he's not defensive, doesn't need to defend it or defend himself
Yep.
on this.
Yeah. Very
Exactly.
blunt. Like, hey, great. Super
Yep.
supportive. All right, keep going. Oh, trust me, Alexa will be noting these things. She's going to be like, oh, there's the concerns coming through.
All right. As the banter continues and you go up the stairs, clickety clack, and you find yourself to a lack of a door. It's just a large alcove that leads to sunlight.
Oh,
Fresh
otherwise it's just like
air.
a wall, like no door. You are now.
You can see grass in the nearby courtyard. You can hear sounds of the wind of a high mountainous area carrying on its sense of lavender and fresh grass. You hear the chirping of birds that is not Nuru. As you make it
Different
with
birds.
steps to go to freedom.
are there any prominent candles in this town?
Let's see. Prominent candles in the Zodiac Observatory. Not candles. No, there are people of interest here.
Got it. I just want to make sure that like if Jacob has candles in his employ, one of them is probably here, if anything.
Mm-hmm.
So keep a lookout, you know?
Yeah.
So I
Right,
look
yeah,
back
they
and I go,
recognize.
Alexa, if there's anyone you recognize, call it out. I don't know of any prominent candles that
Are posted here.
are posted
Yeah.
here. And I've
Okay.
read all the books.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been keeping up as much on their moving patterns because not being able to trust them. That whole thing.
Understood.
And you'll actually know that not posting them here from it's been like a few months since the whole entire adventure, almost a year now or more, that kicked off. That posting there would pose a threat because then you'd spy on Nexus when it was occupied. So if there are, they're not posting them in records.
Yeah.
Got it.
But there'd be, I'm sure, like either recognizing them or like noticing patterns or certain.
Oh, there's
things that-
the emblem, right? Where there's the insignia that to work off of, right?
And we were told in New Haven that the Nexus like thing is done.
It's
like
done.
So since we're like in a town, I guess almost like a suburb of Nexus, right? This town is kind of like a suburb of Nexus.
I'd say more like if you're in the same state but in a different city, like Las Vegas versus Reno.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it. So this is the Reno of the middle.
This is the Reno of
Okay.
of Mid Aurora.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So if we see elves, would it be weird or
If you saw elves, it would be a little weird. Generally, they don't like to be in towns anyway.
got
Yeah.
it? Okay. Cool.
As we're like walking, because again, the bluntness of Captious does not go unnoticed by Alexa. So she kind of goes, and she's like, I heard that Aqua's gonna have has like a whole bunch of books and everything at the observatory. That'd be really cool. Hopefully we'll be able to find something good to read, right, Captios? Like, just trying to see if he can get excited or something.
At that, he actually does kind of light up. Like,
Okay.
not, it's, where he's like, this, I've been to two, like, I have a library overload almost, because we were at the King Piece.
So many libraries.
We're going to here. We're going to the forges after this. Like, this is like Captios's birthday.
Chuck E. Cheese at Chuck E. Cheese is the library.
Yes.
Just makes me think of Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Like,
And
look at all these books.
Exactly.
Oh, great! Now
down below.
All I can think of now is like Captios on that ladder, that ladder scene.
Yeah.
That needs to be a dude. Or just take that GIF and replace like Captios' face on like it was
just
Dante.
put Captios' face on it. Yeah.
All right.
Oh man.
All right. So you're at the having this conversation. You're at the entrance to what appears to be a courtyard. And a keep. So to frame like a courtyard and a keep, there would be walls, adjacent buildings that are internally facing, and there is a way out from the walls, but you're still within like the keep, just the outside part of it. You'd see things like you expect things like horses to be stabled here, a garden, crops, lots of like foot traffic that is made by like dirt roads opposed to like paved.
Are there any gardens that we could like gather food from?
From where you're currently standing, you do not see anyone yet because you're currently facing like the keep proper.
Okay. Because that might be something that'd be good to grab. I don't know what your food situations are, guys, but having some vegetables on your journey.
Yep.
Moldy dumplings from like months ago that shouldn't be in the bag anymore.
They go as quickly as honey in Ark.
Yeah.
The worst.
So assuming that you guys go to the courtyard and leave this place,
yes.
you now see the morning sky with the ripples of the purples and oranges and blues of the aurora that are shown even in midday. A little bit of cloudy overcast that exists there. It's rather silent outside of nature. Like you don't hear a hustle and bustle you'd expect like a market or a city, as this a very quiet sort of town up in the mountains. But there's also no people here in the keep. There's no one pacing about. There's no guards on the ramparts.
I mean, shouldn't there be people
Did you-
around here?
Did you guys face people in the lower barracks? I know you said like it was where they were getting trained, but did you guys come across any soldiers or any of them that you guys had
No one was training at the time, and we bypassed the actual barracks itself. So we didn't see anyone specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, did you hear anyone? I'm just trying to get a feel for, were they all inside or has this just been abandoned?
It's unclear. I mean, I don't think it's been abandoned from like a abandoned ruins sense, but I do think that with everything that's going on, Jacob is mobilizing even the
To a different location.
like
Just-
even the guards that stay behind, right? Even like that level, he's mobilizing them in some way.
There's still something that like kind of the thought of it just being not guarded from the outside, but knowing that they had to face stuff on the inside feels a little bit weird to Alexa. So she's she's already very perceptive, but she's going to kind of be on extra alert, as if maybe the reason there's not guards is because he has something else in place to protect the place. Like they don't need guards because he has something else. So it's be kind of extra alert just in case there's like something either like a trap or like something that can be like triggered once they open the door. So she's going to try extra alertness.
You do notice that as your intel hasn't changed, like this isn't new, but the ramparts do have like turrets that are not like the huge ballistas for large objects. Most of them are like repeaters, like they meant to be like shrapnel for anti-air, and they're still there, but they are also unmanned.
Yeah, unmanned. So they wouldn't.
And the portellus to the entrance to the keep, which you can now like see as you start walking around, is closed.
Okay.
This is weird.
It does have that eerie, like,
Yeah, like something like
Yeah.
like
Howl
it's like
across
the calm before the storm. Like something's gonna happen, and we're just
Are there any like? So this is a courtyard, right?
yes.
The portcullis is in front of us at the end of the courtyard.
Yep.
Are there doors on the right and left at like near where the stairs lead to the ramparts? Like
There are entries. So for visualizing this, imagine that there's a large, like if you're facing the south, there's a large portcullis to the south. You emerged from close to the north, and there is a large courtyard that wraps around a center, which is the large main building where people likely sleep, or like live, like eat, as opposed to convene, which where you were just at. The walls themselves do have means to get up to them, to get up to the ramparts and the guard towers. They have small, like, single doors to do such. The walls themselves, they're relatively high. So, like, city walls are about 30 feet normally. I think we did that research at one point in time. These are keep walls, so they're about the same 20, 30 feet high.
I look at Alexa and I say, "Worth sending Uru up to the top of the ramparts to see what's going on."
yeah.
You sound concerned.
Kind of hold on. I need to.
We don't have a visual out into the town though from where we're at.
The only
have to go up on
visual that you have out of the town is through latticed portcullis made of metal.
I kind of have an idea of using an unseen servant to try to open the door.
An unseen servant to open one of the guard tower doors.
Yeah,
Okay, I mean,
but like keeping us a distance. She just had Nubro get beheaded, so she's not 100% keen right now on sending him out on a recon
Well, if you want to
mission.
do that, then I'll trek up the stairs and just look out.
Well,
Sounds
it's one of those, if it's like a trap or something, we can keep a good distance. And the unseen. So that's why she's trying to do unseen servant, because then they can just go do stuff and we can see where the trap.
You're gonna cast that as a ritual. That's 10 minutes of just hanging out in the
Yeah.
courtyard. For 10 minutes, everyone's hanging out in the courtyard as you cast unseen servant.
Oh god.
It's an action. It's not I don't have it as a.
Oh, so it's one of your spell slots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not one of your ritual spells. It is one of your actual it's
an actual spell. First level spell slot.
Oh well, you're a warlock. You only have 2 spell
One of my
slots.
spell slots. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I don't mind opening the door. She starts walking towards the door.
I mean, like, if you want to, I was just trying to be safe. Something feels off.
Fuck it. Sin goes to the guard stair door thing.
The door itself
Yes, let's talk about the door.
is made of wood. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's got these hinges. These hinges are made of metal. It does have a keyhole. There are no runes on the frame. There's no runes on the door. It is not reinforced. It's just a wooden door with a keyhole.
A handle.
And a handle, yeah. A means of opening it, turning it, opening, closing it. Sounds right. Mm-hmm.
I grab the handle and try to pull it open or push. I don't know. We don't judge here.
It appears to be locked. The door.
So that happens. And I glance over my shoulder and I look back at the door. I just bring my leg up and I just kick it in.
Great. So you
try to anyway.
Don't even need to roll. You kick the door in. It's not of the class of shenanigans you had, more like a keep door for a guard tower. So you kick it in with your mighty strength. It splinters. It falls off the hinges, just like breach. Falls over. Thump. The room itself for the towers is not particularly large. They're mostly stairs that get up at 45-degree angles. In the center there are crates. And that's the entirety of this tower. Stairs and some base storage at the bottom.
Okay. So as I kick the door open, I kind of grab into the sides of the door and look in and see all those things that you described, and then like look up at the stairs. Well, it's not trapped, she says over her shoulder, and then she's gonna go forward and go up the stairs.
Yep.
I'm going, unless anybody else wants to join me.
I just walk, like, I just calmly walk up behind her. I mean, she's like going and I just like follow her.
Okay.
And like as we're doing this, Alexa's like, so are we going up these guard towers to then jump down on the other side?
No, to see what's going on in the town.
Okay.
Like, yeah. And then it's fine.
You guys, the Hobbit, up the stairs,
Yeah.
single file. And you do. There's nothing crazy about the tower in terms of you don't notice traps and pressure plates. Like Alexa has electric perception. Nothing is leaping at you. Alexa, this looks like standard architecture of a tower with stairs that people go up and down.
Is anything abnormally clean?
Nothing is abnormally clean. If anything, things were abnormally dirty, with like dust and and dirt that's like rolled in from the outside. You get to the top of the said tower, which goes out one to the ramparts and has like these larger like overseeing windows, as though guards could be posted here to overwatch the city and the skies. And you have a good survey of the town itself. So one is, holy shit, you are high up. You get any higher and you're like in the clouds.
Oh.
You see out, and with your extra vantage, so you're even higher than what's normal, you can see over the side of the cliff of where the observatory is. And it's the first thing that prominently stands out, is that as you go, let's say like a block or two along this township, you see a large overarching stone bridge, which is affixed to an outcrop of stone holding this massive observatory that looks like it could see well into space with a single large telescope pointed at the skies during midday. This whole entire metal, very like steampunk-esque, like Roman Empire looking observatory that's going on one side. On the town itself seems pretty otherwise mundane. There are houses that are constructed. They seem rather sturdy compared to like shacks you might see in other cities. Very being able to withstand things like high gusts and winds. You see that on where things are enclosed from the mountain itself, there are farms and garden-sized plots that are being developed there. What appears to be a blacksmith, based off of the smoke coming off of the chimney, the forge and the bellows that you can see, and some degree of a tavern, because Alexa has ridiculous perception.
So we're seeing live smoke from a building.
That's right.
Okay.
Coming right off of the chimney of the blacksmith.
Are we seeing
Makes sense.
people just out and about?
Yes, people are out and about.
Okay.
Going above their things like taking baskets down from the slope that goes down the southern side of the town, which is the way you would typically get up. You actually see down the slope and the like rather twisty serpentine path that gets people down and up from that side.
It's just a normal provincial town.
Provincial town, lots of stone, lots of lush grass and colors of like blue and green and purple in certain places. Very colorful mountain area. There's fields of flowers you can see as you go look towards the south. There's the massive expanse of the Arhor'ha wilderness you can see as far as the horizon lets you. Which this high up, you'd be able to see as high as the volcanic mountains to the north, which is like a long ways away. You were very high up.
So it looks like a normal town.
Nobody's dead. Well, like the entire city isn't like wiped clean of life or anything.
Yeah, that's
but-
true. So we should be good. Are we just gonna try to do the big doors to get out here?
Yeah.
Sounds good, unless you want to look around the keep, which I don't personally have any desire to spend more time.
It sounds
I
like
would
you
prefer to like burn this thing down to the ground or something, but
I mean,
probably frowned upon.
Luna's like, that is frowned upon.
like we should just I think just move forward. We can maybe stop by the town, get some stuff, and then go to the observatory. Right? Is it like keep town observatory or
So
The town's on the way to the observatory. We can go to the observatory without going to the town.
Yeah, I'll use some tokens. So
I feel like I vaguely remember, like, from season 6. Like, I vaguely remember the layout.
Capra, imagine Capra is where the keep is. It's one of the large buildings.
Okay.
So, I wonder if I can copy and paste. Let me see here. Yes, I can. Capra 2 is the observatory.
Good.
You have little tiny towns, which I'm representing by all these icons, like, across the way. So it's like, you have the keep, and most of them, like, they wrap a bit to the south, like where Sin is. And imagine these are all buildings. So it's kind of like that. Like, you have a keep, and to the east, southeast, and south of it, you have a town that sprawls around it. And you have, if you go further west from the keep, you've got rocks that go too far up. If you go too far east, you have rocks that go too far up. So it's kind of settled in like a nice little cradle.
Mm-hmm. And then if you go to the north, you
have the north, you have a cliff. And then from the cliff, there's a large stone bridge that affixes to the observatory, which is out on its own outcrop. Like, it's something like built out at a 45-degree angle as long as you could, and it's like, boom, observatory.
So it would make sense to go through the town, then up north.
If you're going to the observatory.
To the observatory, okay. Well, I was thinking, like, going into the town and getting a feel for what's been going on from people might be helpful. Like, in the area, because Alexa hasn't been in this area in a while, and she's not beginning to, like, super trust the candles stuff, so getting it from, like, people living here would just be nice to know, especially if we're going to be traveling, like, in this area, getting an idea for what they're dealing with.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. Like not going so south as much as just going east and then north.
Yeah.
All right. So big door.
I was looking at the map trying to gauge like what direction it was we were looking at.
I'll make this like more spatially relative here.
And it's
broad concepts.
Are we looking at out towards the tower, the weird creepy black tower nobody knows what it is, or towards like the mountainside of like wastelands side?
So the creepy tower no one knows what it is far east. You are looking at far north, because north is where the volcanic region is. So if you were, see if I can't doodle. Can I doodle? Let's find out.
Towards the tip of like the A shape of the map.
Yeah, so you're in this side right here, and you're looking out to the north.
Okay.
And on this side and this side, it's like that's where like the cradle is. Although I guess more accurately, it's like
because we can see volcanic region and all that stuff. Like I don't know how much you can say like, oh, your vision is great, you can see these things. Can we see any points of destruction in Aurora from where we are? Like towns that have gone down or cities, like can we just like, we might not be able to see like how bad it is, but can we see any like points of destruction in the continent of Aurora?
1 second, I'm having a lot of fun doodling.
That's fair. You doodle away.
So that little S is like the path down, so it goes like down at angles and it curves around. So that's what the town effectively looks like. You guys are the houses. And you are out on the northern side, looking out north and seeing mostly what you can see.
Gotcha.
And just so that you know, the volcanic region is all the way super far to the north. I guess that this like brazier is pretty good for that, but like that's the other half of the continent, so you can see most of Aurora at that point.
That's fair.
Okay, well now that I'm done having fun, what's
your
question?
Now I'm done having fun. Good. No, I was asking because we can see a little bit more of Aurora because we're so high up, and we know that like, hey, Reth is just, fucking shit up. And then you've got...
Reth would be to the south, so where they see, like, the wavy things down. You'd have to...
And then angels. So I guess what I'm trying to see is, like, are there any points of destruction that we can see? Like, we don't know what's causing it, but, like I know out of character that Freeport has been destructed. So, like, are there places like that have somehow been, like, smoke, destruction coming out of it?
Let me draw some things. So this is Nexus up here. Right, far north. You can see Nexus. It's recovering. Okay. The mountain range is a little bit like you'd have to go climb the eastern mountainside because like Freeport is over here with my attempt to like freehand the word free.
Yeah, I'm sure we could probably see some destruction of the mountains from Elo, right? Coming out
from the northwest. Yeah. So Crystallis. I'm gonna keep zooming back. Crystallis is a bit south. that's also where like, New Haven would be. You would be able to see as you go northeast a bit of like Oakvale, which is where that all is happening, which is over here. So you would be able to see the amassing of Oakvale. And Alexa, because you have hawk vision,
Yes,
you can see Landsight in the far distance just flying towards Oakvale because you just have that sort of vision.
Yeah, look. There's a dragon. Like, oh. Didn't you guys say that what was it, Rolf and who was the other guy that you said left?
Oh, Roger.
Roger. That he left because of Landsight, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Right, Cap? That was right. Yeah, that was.
What do you see, Alexa? Captius just says.
It looks like Landsight's going to like that little town, Oakvale. Like, remember they had like a whole bunch of like hobgoblins. It was a whole thing. We didn't really care about it, but like
It was a northern problem.
yeah. Like, do you remember reading about those reports about like all those hobgoblins and stuff?
That must be where the dragons are amassing. Landsight's supposed to be going to talk to Targrin, and I can't, like, out of character, I can't remember. Storm
Skybreaker.
Skybreaker and then Dawnbringer.
Yeah, so Skybreaker and Targrin to discuss, the fact that Reth is back. So he must still be journeying up that way.
It looks like he's about to get there. I think Oakvale is where I guess that's where they're meeting.
Interesting.
There does look, yeah. And then I imagine I would notice like the change in the mountains because like it looks like there's like a little bit of a change in the mountains near there too.
Yeah, because it dropped a bit with Elo collapsing it. It's subtle, but it's very displaced. Like someone detonated dynamite, and then like the whole entire mountain like shifted as a result a little bit down. Like you see landslides, like someone like scraped down the side.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, there's nothing we can do from here to stop that.
No, but it might be good for you guys to just know where they are. I think that's where they are currently.
Yeah. Put it.
I don't know Roger, but
put in the
Memory
old
bank.
dome.
Yeah.
Are there any other?
Write it down in a book.
Like, I know that we can see Crystallis because like there's a lot of like we know destruction is probably happening places. Like, is there any new information of like, oh shit, that place looks worse for wear than it was last time we saw it? Like, is Crystallis looking like it's fallen to shit?
You can't from where you are.
Can't tell.
You'd have to go to a different tower.
You're on the northern. You're in the northern rampart.
Gotcha.
Right. So, though that circle part is where you are. So.
Gotcha.
You'd have to move around a little bit, but you could feasibly do that if you move to the southern wall.
Do I
Captius
see
is
Skyport?
You can see Skyport. In fact, you have a damn good
Oh,
view of
that's true.
Skyport. Because Skyport is actually, while painting this nice mental image, Skyport looks more attainable than any city ever because it's almost like it's floating on
At
your
your level,
altitude.
right?
So you can see straight across, or it's a little like across or a little bit below. It is a continent with a city on it, floating just north of Nexus.
Is Gig giving any kind of reaction to the fact that he's that close to Skyport?
Oh, he's giving a reaction, all right. he's like looking at it, and he's squinting like this.
Does it look occupied?
Well, you have good vision.
I do.
You don't have that good vision.
Yeah.
You'll need a way of magnifying, because you're talking about like pixels at that point.
Like birds.
Landsight is a large object that flies.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. No, Gig is definitely taking a good long look at Skyport for sure.
Yeah, imagine being that close and think like, there it is.
Is he warded from Skyport?
He created Skyport.
He creates Skyport. Like, is there anything preventing him from going there?
Yeah,
None's been discussed like in a meta conversation or in character.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, Sin, I think we should head to the southern ramparts to see where Reth is.
Ooh, smart.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It might need you to
I'll
kick
start
another
walking.
door. It's like,
I mean, you're on the
Is it
ramparts.
all not connected?
They're all
oh,
connected.
right, they are.
Yeah, you're on the walls. You're just
Right.
walking around.
I know how walls work.
Just not doors. We just don't know how doors.
Just doors are. Hey, we conquered 2 doors today, guys.
All right, so you guys just like howdy doody walk in on the ramparts just to go around the south side.
Yeah, to see where Reth is.
Okay, you start walking to the south side, and you start to notice the people that are down there eventually.
Are there people up there?
Yeah, they're like it's getting a bit of a gathering. You're like this is like the most exciting thing that's happened in the season. People on the ramparts. So people are starting to watch you. You get the south ramparts. You see the way down. It's a lot. You can see straight down it, then all the way down to the base. You can see the forest, the valley. You can see the dome that is New Haven. It definitely stands out with all like the magical energy that exists.
Yeah.
It appears to still be there, the dome. And Alexa, you have great vision, so you can see a large object such as Reth.
Yep.
And what looks to be like an army of ants from this high up of Rethlings. And they are going southern towards Crystallis.
So not going to us.
No, they're marching south.
Oh, fuck.
Not only that, you see what can only be described as a lot of white doves, or a celestial host, going from the smoldering, and not like smoke, like you expect like an oily smoke. It's more like mist, like a fog that is like vapored up from what you could see is Freeport. And Freeport is missing a lot of notable landmark buildings and walls. And like it looks like someone like literally dropped like bleach bombs on it.
And Freeport.
So,
Freeport, yeah, Freeport's like scrubbed.
So
Yeah.
Alexa like looks at it, and I imagine because they had to go to Old Freeport, and that's where like they met Ford and everything. Like, does it now essentially just resemble what Old Freeport looks like?
Old Freeport is slightly submerged. It is not quite yet submerged. It does, however, look quite ruinously wrecked. And those two, the ants and the doves are kind of like doing one of these.
Converging? Yeah, it's like and Chrysalis like, well, positive side, we won't have to deal with Reth for a while. Negative side, it looks like Reth and the Celestials are going to have a showdown in Crystallis, which is going to lead to a lot of people dying. Because I don't think either of them care about the people.
And Luna's like, we should help them.
How?
What we do is we get a really big weapon, and we believe in it a lot. And we face off against them by ourselves, and we win.
I mean,
Luna's
wasn't
child
Yes.
logic.
Yeah. If the weapon is big enough, and if you have enough,
And your will is strong enough.
You'll win.
Win.
I mean, wasn't that already tried already with like Gig's child or something, and see how that worked out?
Alex looks at
Jake,
someone
who's
like,
actually
She says
here.
that out loud.
Oh.
Yeah, she says that out loud.
Alex is like, well, that is an interesting thing to say, Sin. She looks to Gig.
Interesting insight. So
I'm saying it's a bad thing, Alexa.
So perception, and I'd say Captus, just to make this interesting, because I think we're in just like 3/4 drama these days. Captus is closest to Gig. Gig's still looking at Freeport when Sin obviously drops that bomb. He's still looking at Skyport.
Who do you want to roll?
No, Alexa can see it. Captus is close enough to it and needs to roll nothing to see that he's like didn't react to it. Sin is the one who's saying it, so carry that on.
That is interesting. That
He's not reacting
at all
At
to
all.
something that should be a very, especially because he's around Pisces, should be a visceral reaction, I would imagine, to you saying, remember that time that your son got yeeted at you, or your child
What's
got yeeted?
Pisces' reactions? That's her son too.
Yeah, Pisces does have a reaction.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
So when you say that, like when you've like burned the carpet and you're like, oh, mom will never find out, and she like this is creeping up behind you, like the death in her.
Oh my god.
Shadowy face, one star in her eye. just shows up behind Sin as like she's backtracking this, and then just lets her keep talking and puts her hands on Sin's shoulders and starts giving her a massage.
Oh God, that's a. She's going.
She turns around. Can you not touch me?
And then she like touches your forehead.
And Alexa's gonna look to Sin and be like, the child you were talking about was also Pisces child.
Oh, I'm sorry. You don't want to talk about your child now? Is that
so?
Is
When
that
she
it?
touches your forehead, you become the equivalent of lobotomized.
Oh my God.
You have no emotions. You were like, I don't think we have a good example of this person. You were emotionless. And then she leans in and says, when you learn to behave, you'll be released from timeout.
Oh my God.
And she steps back.
And Alexa's just sitting there like, she's got Captios, who seems to be like slowly losing his humanity. And then like Sin's emotions go, she's like,
and then she looks to Alexa and says, it won't be long, but that's unacceptable. You need to be much more considerate of people's feelings. That was my child. And looks to Sin, who now lacks the ability to be provoked. It's like, and now you're left with only your thoughts to think through rationally. She doesn't insult her.
I'm thinking.
Are you?
But like she can't have anger.
She can't have anger. Yep. Yeah, it's gonna be a rough in session hour of no emotions. Yeah. Just thoughts. Pure cold logic.
Like Alexa.
Oh yeah.
Just everything's just logical. Doesn't
I'm
matter.
Kill her. Oh.
Why would that logically make sense though?
Yeah, out of character. In character. Yeah, it's a white noise. Someone is taking the cord out. And then Pisces steps back. And now is actively watching the group.
I'm staring at Skyport. I'm like looking at Gig, staring at Sky. So I'm just like watching him stare at Skyport, and I like hear what happens behind me, and I turn around. I'm like, okay, so Sin is without emotion, is logical. It might be slow, but it's logical. So this is something I can work with. So I say,
Alexa's just like,
Sin, in order to, move forward as a group, can you please apologize to Pisces?
I hate you so much.
I just imagine like the walls in Sid's mind, like, no, stop it.
Yeah, but isn't being apologetic an emotion?
Yes.
It's one of the things that you can say it, but it won't be genuine.
No, it's an apology because you don't empathize, but you understand from a logical perspective how someone, like saying that about someone's son, could affect them, right? Like it's not acceptable.
It's a comprehension check. Like, do you know what you did to offend them?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's hard to feel sorry, but it's possible to understand what you did to offend. And what you plan on doing before. Yeah, it's this is like RP hard mode, but
yeah.
I have faith.
She puts right to her side. I'm sorry I mentioned your child getting blown up into a city.
Because that actually sounds like pretty...
That sounds worse.
Yeah, but that's where Sin is. Like, you're asking, be like, Sin, solve a trig problem. It's like, there's triangles.
Yeah.
3 sides.
Like, when I don't feel any remorse for it, or like...
Yeah.
I don't know. That's how I think she would say.
Yep. All right, so Pisces just continues to look at Sin and looks at Captios. Tells Captios, it's a good time to help her rational understanding very fortunate that I feel that there is a person that is very knowledge oriented close by. Maybe she'll learn something like decorum.
I think we just move forward.
I nod to Pisces, and
You could tell she's mad, by the way.
Yeah.
She's just like, used to call her baby ugly, and then he died last year, and it's like, oh, it's okay. It's your fault, Mom. It's like, oof.
and she has the power to lobotomize you.
Yeah,
so.
and she's got the power to be like what was it? What Littlefinger and Cersei Lannister did. It's like, power is power. Oh, by the way, I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nods and then looks at Gig, just now ignoring the situation behind him.
Like, nothing we can do about it. We just got an emotionless sin.
Skyport looks pretty cool from up here, huh?
Gig's looking at Skyport like, yeah. You guys absolutely lost in thought, which lost in thought with Gig sounds terrifying. And it is terrifying
really
when he has nothing witty to say. Nothing smart ass to say. No games to play with you. He's just looking at Skyport. It's like, yeah, it does look interesting.
The dangerous gamble would be to use Virgo's motivation thing right now on Gig.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be real dangerous. The observatory is a little bit higher than where we are, correct?
It is.
So, like, Alexa, like, looking at that and seeing how, like, intent
building.
he is on Skyport. Be like, Gig, we might be able to get a better vantage point from the observatory.
Gig is like, it is. Like, totally didn't listen to her.
Yeah, I did listen to her. Okay. Guys, we have to move forward. I just got too non-feeling. We got to move forward.
Did we want to? You said we were going to the town, or are we going straight to the observatory? And if we're going to the observatory, are we flying there? Can you turn into a bird?
I can turn into a bird. However, we're going to go into the town first to see if there has been stuff going on here to gather intel and then go to the observatory. Because while I do have candle intel, I don't fully trust it.
Okay.
And Luna seems to know something's up with Sin and looks to Sin like, are you okay?
I'm fine. Luna, we have a mission and we need to complete it.
Alexa looks to Luna. She's like, Sin said something that offended Pisces, so Pisces put her in timeout. This is Sin in timeout.
Oh.
Do we want to be really...
looks to Sin in timeout and like, oh.
I don't understand. What?
You will. Let's go, guys.
You are saying words.
I am saying words.
So that, yeah, when we move to go down or to leave, does Gig move with us? Or does he continue to stare at Skyport?
No, he stays up there like Batman. Just human cloak billowing in the breeze. So you'll enter the town sans a Gig.
I look at Pisces and I go, what's Gig's deal? He didn't even, like, normally something that Sin said like that would have, I mean, I saw it when Ozzy said something. So this, seeing how you reacted, I mean, he didn't even react.
And Pisces
as we're walking down the ramparts.
Yeah, Pisces stays with that because be as it may, she is still responsible for restoring Sin, so she'll stay with the party.
Yeah.
I just feel like, I'm going to take away your emotions. You guys have fun. Come back. When you come back, I might give you back your emotions.
So, yeah. So, Pisces, as you guys like go down the ramparts back to, assuming, the courtyard area, like, he's thinking. And there is a lot, and she points to like Skyport involving that with us. Like that was important.
You were there for the creation of Skyport, weren't you?
Yes. Well, I was very instrumental to making it, and she points to that the fact that it floats. As was points to Sin like an Ozzy, as was the Fetchers. Well, it's very similar, like watching a heritage or an heirloom.
And there's
He's a very nostalgic man, that Gigareth.
And kind of like seeing how Gig has been with everything, and like him staring at Skyport. Like Alexa takes a second, looks to Pisces. Like, do you think he'll just get on Skyport and leave us to fend for ourselves?
So Pisces gets close to Alexa. Is like, oh no, he loves Aurora way too much to do that now.
Now.
Yes. Now.
Okay. Do you think that he would get on Skyport to do what he thinks, to do a different plan and leave us alone?
Us, she says.
The party.
The party. And she looks around and is like, the people here.
Yes.
It's possible he will go to Skyport, or is there already.
Like,
and
You feel I'm feeling some confusion from you, Alexa, and some impatience from the party, and she looks at Sin, and a refreshing silence.
oh my gosh. God. I was just like, I know that.
I'm gonna fucking kill her.
Like, I was just like, I left and I came back and it feels like things are just very unstable. And now more unstable.
Oh, Pisces smiles big, like you're talking about like the party this Friday. It's like, oh, Alexa, it never was stable. It never has been.
Yeah. It just feels significantly less.
and as Captius is walking, he's like, "Are you talking about the party, like us?"
Yes.
And as I'm walking back, I'm like, glad to see some things haven't changed, and I just keep walking right past.
All right, so now you reach the Portellus.
Alex is just like, this is my life now. I have an unfeeling Sin
But
here.
it's also
sassy-
that, well, no, it's also that like that element of you know better than us about what we need. Like that's the classic Alexa, right? And it's like, it's interesting that in those 10 days that hasn't changed. Like all of us have significantly changed, and Alexa seems to be the same.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Well, I think everyone's core is still the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, picking up on that. Yeah. Picking up on that. Pisces, like, that's the second jab. How are you taking it?
Like, not great. But I don't really think I have the option of taking it poorly.
She looks like, that sounds like denial.
It is. That doesn't change it from feeling that way.
Do you think maybe you need to have a conversation with Captios just like you had with Sin?
I don't know if Captios is fully Captios anymore to have that conversation.
Well, let me see here. And you could definitely tell, like, Captios can tell she does not hide it. Pisces looks at Captios. It's like, so look back to Alexa, I sense fear and uncertainty. Captios is still Captios. And perhaps if you're worried, learn. But don't but people do not enjoy knowledge being weaponized. You're in this together. And with that, she releases Sin from her, we'll call it emotional prison.
Sin gets emotions again, but then what does she do when she has them?
You
She points a finger at...
Bitch.
Lobotomized again. Like, just like... like, you bitch! Boop! Like, computer rebooted, and one more time.
Sorry, guys, I got to. It's just my character.
So then, like, hearing what Pisces said and, like, seeing what she did with Sin, she takes a deep breath and she will kind of, like, walk forward and walk next to Captios. And she takes a deep breath. And she's like...
Hold on, just got a bliss tax my lips before we a nice chat.
Oh god, I just feel like before I start spitting straight fire,
Yeah.
you gotta get that ballistic.
There was so many ways to go from that. It's like, because you're about to kiss her ass, because you're about to spit fire. Like,
where's this going? It's like,
there's a lot of ways you can go from this.
That's going onto the quotes page, by the way.
And so, like she's like, because she's trying to grow and everything, but
it's hard.
But she looks to Captain, like, I don't want to weaponize stuff, and I don't mean to. I can't help but see things. And they may be something small, it may be something inconsiderate, or just something that may not mean anything at all. But I can't help but notice changes. And I'm not saying that you are unstable or Sin is unstable. I'm just saying that there are changes that concern me, and I can't help but notice them. I can't help but notice that Gig, while he's super helpful, is also an asshole, and it looks like he's on the brink of leaving us. I get Sin has no emotion. If there's a fight coming in, and she has to fight, we don't have any kind of protection. And as much as having Virgo's powers are extremely helpful, and we have those powers on the side, I can't help but notice the subtle changes in you as well. I'm not trying to weaponize it. I just see it. And it's hard not to say something when I see a change.
So Captius takes a moment, thinks about this for a second, and says, no, but it sounds like you're weaponizing us. Sin has no emotion, so if we get in a fight, she's not going to be as useful. I have Virgo's powers, and so that are useful, but it just seems like right now you're weaponizing us versus being our teammate. And I get what you're saying, but also, do you wonder if sometimes when you see things, you're just seeing what you want to see and not necessarily seeing the whole truth? I mean, the physical perception is only a part of what's going on.
That's true. I might not be seeing the truth. But I struggle accepting that if I were to ask the truth, that I would be told it. So I have to trust what I see. You know that we're spies, right? How many things?
Yeah, but
how many truthful things do you get?
What? And she knows, like, this entire time.
It's like my whole life has been
but when
manipulating and observing to understand the truth that people won't tell me. That's how I function. That's how I was able to get where I am. And admittedly, where I am is shit. But that's how I've learned to function.
So learn. Ask me how I'm feeling, because I'll tell you outright. There's definitely some suppression of my emotions, but it's not like the same type. It's not a removal of emotion. It's a suppression.
And what do you think is going to happen when you finish getting Virgo's powers?
I don't know, but after my talk with Pisces, I'm not fully convinced that Virgo didn't have the emotions. It says that Virgo was able to suppress them in a way that allowed Virgo to do her job. And I think that's what it is. It's like you don't even, I guess this is what they mean when they say, like, you got to ask the right questions. And Captius, like, puts his like, he strokes his chin a little bit and he goes, I guess the bigger thing is that in the past, I would have just accepted that you knew what was best for us. And I'm just not convinced you do unilaterally.
I might not, but I do want you to think on something because it's something that.
So then tell me what to think on and don't keep it to yourself.
This power of Virgos, suppressing your emotions. Is it worth it? And is it really the life that you wanted to lead for the power?
I'll be honest, I don't know, but I'm trusting that you and Sin will help me figure that out. But that requires communication.
I'm just letting you know I'm worried. That I'm seeing the changes, and I need to know that I can continue to communicate when I'm seeing changes.
You haven't really tried in the past, so when you say continue
after this,
like, fair enough. Yeah. And if you can't do it with me, talk to Sin, and she'll just hit me in the head until I have some sort of emotional reaction.
I don't think that's how it's going to work.
I mean, if you really want me to, I suppose.
Nope. Not the time to bring up that kind of statement.
No, I appreciate this, Alexa. I think we've all grown to the point where we're a team. There's no one leader and no one person that unilaterally knows what's best for the group.
Yeah.
Spies work differently than teams, right? That's why.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's not we're all in it for ourselves. We have to think together.
Agreed.
And all that, like, Alexa just takes a step back. And she's like, all right, we should keep moving forward to figure out if Sin will get her emotions back. I don't know if that's something do we need to help her through realizing what's happening? Or is it something that she should process on her own?
I'm honestly not sure.
Okay.
To be fully honest. But I think the next time that she gets emotional again, we should stop her before she can say a word.
Okay.
All right.
And then, yeah, it's like.
So, one we're gonna have a bio break now is just a few minutes, just in case someone's feeling antsy. But not yet. So as this goes, sees that conversation start to wrap up, Pisces looks to the lobotomized Sin, stands in front of her, puts two hands on her shoulder, which should give her any degree of comfort because she's no emotion.
Yeah.
Gets a little down to her level because she's a little taller than Sin. Releases her emotions and says, Sin, my child was abducted, tortured, and killed. It is very hurtful to hear stories of him used in such a way. I am asking you not to bring him up in a negative light. And as such, I will not do that again to you. It offends me greatly.
Fine.
Okay.
She says, very just, okay.
Okay. She straightens up and she's like, okay. And she just lets it go. She walks away. And on that, now's the time for a bio break.
Yeah.
The bathroom. I'm personally good. I have this coffee I'm sipping.
I'm gonna head to the bathroom real quick. Probably grab a beverage.
But what I will do is I'll let my dogs out.
Yeah,
There.
floof,
Yay!
floof escape.
Be back.
Okay. Let me change this to chat. Boop.
So how are you feeling to have your emotions back?
Oh my god. I hate her even more now. No, seriously. Yeah, she has some big issues with that. Big issues.
That's fair. In her defense, you did just casually talk about her catapulted dead child.
Well, but like, what are you gonna do? Beat around the bush about it? Like, that's her view on it. Like, it happened.
Yeah.
It's just like Sin being abrupt and a tiefling self that she is, can't say it in like a very compassionate way.
Yeah.
I guess, like, when it pops into her head. But it wasn't like she said it in like a malice, I don't know, way. Like she saw it as a bad thing. Like that really is unfortunate kind of thing, but didn't come out that way. But somebody to pick and choose whether or not she can feel things and like has power over that. Ooh.
Yeah, like just knowing
She's just as bad as like anybody else that determines any kind of will of a person. I don't know. Like that's a line. That's a hard line.
What's a hard line?
Pisces taking Sin's emotions away.
Oh yeah.
you're like, yes, it is. How are you going to handle that?
I don't know yet. I don't know. She's upset about it though. Yeah. I'm thinking. I'm plotting.
Plotting and scheming.
Mm-hmm.
What are you going to do to Pisces and you're plotting and scheming?
I don't know. I'm only just a breaker.
Of blood and fire. She's like water and souls.
I'll figure something out. Ozzy.
About to say, Ozzy could very well.
Interesting.
Yes, but if take for instance, you broke Pisces.
Welcome back.
Who's the one? What's?
This is a great conversation. I like this.
Oh yeah, I came back from like walking the dogs to being like, this bitch.
Yeah.
Well, like you break Pisces.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the one entity that we know that Gig seems to like, other than Sin, to really truly care about?
Yeah, I mean, Paul is dead, so.
Secrets that I can't tell you right now.
So you're saying that Gig would want you to break Pisces so he could build something out of Pisces?
No, this is all just a Sin thing. Oh, my brain's ticking. I can't tell you it now, but it's ticking.
Yay!
I'm not gonna break Pisces. Don't worry.
You're right. You're gonna have Ozzy do it.
No. Break Pisces. I promise.
I don't like fully believe that.
Well, this is apt not Sunday evening Eastern Standard drama. So we'll go back to resuming that piece. Captios and Alexa had a conversation to resolve some
Good conversation.
Mm-hmm. I won't say that the Pisces sin was a good conversation so much. It was a conversation.
It happened. And now.
Normalcy, it's the best that it can be in Aurora, is restored. And you're in front of Portellus.
Open the Portellus.
How do you wish to open a closed Portellus?
Is there like a thing on the side that you have to like, is there a lever?
There is a mechanical mechanism typically in the guard towers adjacent to it, yes.
So we just left the guard tower, so then have to go back because we didn't actually hit the thing to open the Portellus.
You gotta like...
Is that what you're telling us?
Yeah, I gotta...
Okay,
like,
cool.
It's like a wheel. You just kind of pull it, or a lever that releases it. The tension is slack.
I'll go. Angry Sin angry. You
All
guys
right.
go by the door, and I'll go. Wait, how am I supposed to get out then?
The door's
When
going
you-
to stay
lock?
open.
Yes, it locks.
Okay, it's not like a Laura Croft like slide through thing.
No, people. This is a functional object where people need to use it on a regular basis.
Yeah, like,
so it does have a lock that
Armies
keeps it
and
locked
stuff
up.
have to come in. There isn't just like one guy holding on to like, hold on, just hold for a little longer.
It's like we got a platoon in. Fred, you're next.
Yeah, no, Sin will volunteer. Whatever gets me away from this bullshit for just 5 seconds, and she starts walking back up the guard tower stair things.
Yep. Okay.
Hmm.
All right.
Out of character. It's funny how people talking about their feelings also annoys Sin, just like it did Ozzy. Remember when Ozzy was like, "Get away from me," and you were like, "No, I need to talk to you about your feelings." Interesting.
This guy.
He woke up and chose
Guy.
violence. He
I pulled the string thing.
You pull the wheel. All right. It's like think like Sea of Thieves with the what was it, the Kazakhstan or whatever the hell it's called, Castian,
Yeah.
whatever.
Castia.
The thing that
Castiel.
Castiel. The thing that drops and raises the anchor. It's like that.
Mhm.
So
yeah.
so you go ahead.
Capstan? Caps. I'm
It's
gonna keep thinking of names.
begins to C. It's not
Let's
Capios.
see.
So you
Yes.
so you pull this thing until the portellus opens. You know, foot by foot, meter by meter, however you wish to, stone by stone, goes up, and then finally you can pull it up no longer, and there's a lock for it to stay at that height. Just a lever, and it's up, giving you
Yay!
access to the town proper. Which, by the way, by this time
There's
you have a small
crowd.
congregation, of like people that don't want to talk to you but are very interested in what you're doing. Like hiding behind barrels and like houses and whatnot. There's not a huge militia in terms of like armed people here, but they are here. What small amount, like all 6 of them, are here, and they're just making sure you don't burn the town down.
Yeah. So, I know there's like a tavern or something.
There
So,
is
Alexa
a tavern.
Alexa would be like, I think there's a tavern down there. We should probably go to. Like, very aware that people are watching her, but like, we can't do anything about it. They are going to stare until they feel comfortable.
Not that we aren't used to.
Yeah.
And go back down with the rest of the group.
Yeah, we just left Sin behind.
Yeah.
The only person who's been left so hiding so far is Gig. Gig isn't
Yeah.
part in.
And that was by choice by Gig. We did not abandon Gig.
Okay.
Right.
So we're going to the tavern?
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the whole entire like ding shame without actual shame, but the crowds are like just parting for you and gossiping. Like, who are they? Like, I don't know. Do you think they're with Jacob? Probably not. Do you think they're with Lillian? I don't know. Maybe they're with Iolanthe. I doubt it. There's no dragons. So you get a lot of like.
Yeah.
As you get,
I was gonna ask, like, as we're going through and like walking to the tavern, just let me know if there's anyone that Alexa would recognize. Either if like candles or just.
nothing comes to mind that Alexa would recognize in the crowd of farmers and militia. Like if you're
Yeah.
looking for a candles agent, for example, nothing leaps. Like you don't have a photographic memory, but you can see everybody, so you can do a good facial profiling of everyone. But your memory isn't like, oh, this person is such and such.
Yeah, I imagine it'd be enough of like I vaguely remember that person, but I might have to pull on Captios to be like, that person looks familiar.
Yeah.
Do you recognize them as well?
Fair enough. All right. So you continue on. None of that triggers anything. You get to the tavern. It's very much very prancing pony-esque. It's a wooden building with a place for stables for tying up a couple horses on the outside. So the stirrup, what the hell they're called. And like a feeding trough, water for the horses, should that be the case. Not a lot, because horses don't generally get up here.
That's a. I remember we had that problem with Maximus getting him up.
Yes. Correct.
It's a big mountain.
It was a big problem, and there were like rivers and stuff in the way. So they're there. It seems like they're mostly for decoration.
Yeah. Are not leaving.
Wooden doors to the tavern itself. A little sign that has a faded name. Like at one of the words, the tavern must be duck because it's just eroded by the wind and the sand and the dust up here. No one's bothered repainting it. The tavern itself, it smells nice. Like, it smells like there's some sort of meat cooking in the background. Some sort of spices that seem very local to the area, very pungent. Like paprika. Yeah. So the best thing is it kind of smells like lamb and paprika is in the air.
So I think I was gonna look and be like, "Yes, going to get a seat. I'll grab us some food." I don't know when's the last time you guys have eaten, but I've been in Avernus, so everything's been very charred flavored.
Accurate.
It'd be nice for a
I
change.
kind of like it, but I could see how you would not.
Yeah, everyone has different tastes.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go grab us some food if you guys want to grab a seat. And she'll go over to like the person and
there's a bar, like the equivalent of your tavern counter, where there is someone there. Behind them is like the kitchen and the hearth. The hearth area actually is far across. You can see like a large pot. You can see that's where all the smell is coming from. Is that hearth and a large like cast iron pot. Now that you're here, you can smell like with your perception, Alexa, which goes to scent to like fresh baked bread that goes along with it.
Just something not smelling of brimstone. She's like, yes, please. What was Capios's favorite drink? I want to say it was like tea or something, but I feel like that's not right.
Milk. It was whole milk.
It was just whole milk. Okay.
Yep.
Weirdly specific, but okay.
It's like milk. So she's gonna, get everyone some of the unidentified stew with bread, and she's gonna get Capios some milk, some whole milk.
Nice.
Okay.
She's going to get Sin some beer.
Okay.
Just one beer. She feels like she probably needs to drink feelings.
They do. So it's a mountain, so it's kind of like whole goat milk up here. You don't see many cows, but there's a mountainous region.
It's like it's whole.
There are a lot of good like
goat.
mountain water and hops. So the ale itself is very crisp. It's well brewed. Mm-hmm.
What kind of drink do you think Pisces would like? Ozzy's also going to get a beer. Ozzy's also... Okay.
What did you say?
Is it poison?
Poison. Can we just give her a bottle of cyanide? Would that work on a celestial? Yeah, and in fact, I'll use the current map to I'll use a table of where everyone's appeared to be sitting. So let's see here. This will be one pew. So Virgo's on one side. Gig is buggered off. He's somewhere over here. Let's see. We'll have Solus. Wait, this is Virgo. Piss off, Virgo.
Good.
So here are the two. In the center of these pews here will end up being like the table. So I'm making some broad guesses on where people are sitting.
Yeah.
So that's where they are. Roughly, Ozzy is straight across from Solus. Solus is adjacent to Pisces. There's enough for everyone to sit.
Like Alexa's gonna grab everyone food. She's gonna assume probably Luna would also drink milk, like Captios. That seems like the logical next step for and then beer for Ozzy and Sin, with also food. Like food will be accompany this. Solus and Pisces, for some reason I imagine they would drink like some form of like sparkling water. Either that or like sake.
Well, here's the thing. This is the real conflict. It's not how many goblins you can kill. It's what does Alexa, the person with great control and seems to know the answer to everything, what does she get everyone to drink? So I know that she got milk for Captios, which is sign of approval. It's his favorite drink. Let's move across. So I'll go the top side.
Okay.
So next to Captios is Luna. So what do you get Luna? The girl, the little girl.
Luna was also gonna do milk because like she's a kid. It's either gonna be milk or juice. She's gonna
well,
get one
I mean, it's no or. You can't order or unless you're giving her 2 glasses.
No, I think she'd also get her milk because then she could feel like she's like Captios and her are both drinking milk.
Okay.
She seems to really like Captios, so it'd be a fun like little bonding. Like he's drinking the same thing as me, and it'd be cute.
Okay. All right, so you get Luna milk. So 2 orders of goat milk. What are you getting, Ozzy? Beer. Okay. What are you getting yourself?
She's gonna drink like a tea, like a green tea.
Got it. Tea. Going around the corner, said Sin's getting a beer, ale.
Yeah.
What are you getting, Solus?
Solus, yeah, like Solus and Pisces, I feel like they would drink something like sparkling, like a white wine. I feel like Solus would drink a white wine.
Okay, so do you get her a white wine?
Yes.
The person behind the counter looks at you and says, "What?"
Mead.
It's like, oh, it's just okay. They go get mead.
Okay.
Which is honey wine.
Yeah, it's like a honey, like a little bit of a sweeter wine.
They're like, where do you think you are exactly?
That's what I'm like, where am I? What do you have?
I have goats and I have hops. Check. Wines. Like, I don't have any grape. You see any vineyards around here? You think we get imports?
Yeah.
Okay, so you ask for mead, which is also an import, but a very common one in a high fantasy world.
Yeah,
so
like
one of the most expensive drinks is then mead. I'm not going to make you pay for it, but know that to them, like saying, "Oh, I'm fancy. I'm going to get mead."
I feel like
the one cask that you have. Give me a bottle of your finest wine.
I feel like Pisces. I feel like Pisces and Solus would have the same taste in beverages.
Okay.
I have nothing to follow that. That is.
All right, so you come with it seems like things are happening in 2s. 2 orders of milk.
Really is.
2 orders of ale, 2 orders of mead, and you're drinking tea.
I'm drinking tea.
All right, solid.
Okay. So she comes back, and there's really only one thing on the menu here, because again,
It's the
Mountain
stew.
Town, it's stew of the day and bread.
Yeah, and she'll also bring that. Like, okay, here's food.
Okay, so you're all huddled around the most awkward family meal ever, but you're there in the tavern with your bowl of mystery stew,
And bread.
and bread. Very what is it? Oh, what did they jousting? Medieval times, very medieval times.
Yes,
Yeah.
excellent.
All right, ironically, because it is very much like medieval times. All right, so you do such. Alexa returns and scene with bowls, and the one person who works here helps deliver them to, like, ladle, bowl, and just goes back and forth from the pot. Everyone stares at each other.
Capio starts diving into the bread and is just like, "So, how was everyone's day?" In jest.
Sin's just like,
and like the same, like in unison, like Ozzy, like underneath the hood, as emo as he is, he's just like as hacker as possible with a hoodie. It's like you just see like the cup disappear beneath the edgelord shade that he has on him right now, and it definitely is making the proprietor very uncomfortable, because you have, Cloak McCloak Aragorn here drinking beer with a tiefling. Okay, that happens. That's the scene.
It's like
Is it like the evening at this point? Is that
afternoon, right?
Yeah.
Afternoon.
So sun's already past the midpoint. It's making its way to setting.
That's why the hope of you get alcohol but with food, so it'll absorb and you won't get drunk in theory.
It's like day drinking. Got it.
Yeah, plus it's not too uncommon to drink, because it doesn't have like disease and bacteria, and there was recently a pandemic, so it's not even too uncommon to at any point in time order alcohol. That's your chocolate.
How many hours would it take to get to the observatory by foot right from here?
15, 20 minutes. It's not
Okay,
far.
cool.
Yeah.
So like
it's
we could still go
close.
today.
It is very
Yeah.
close. It's like saying
Oh.
it's like when you're like DC and it's like a different district. Like, oh, I gotta go to the Smithsonian. Gotcha. I could do a subway stop, or I could walk a couple blocks.
Yeah, it's like you're stopping, you're grabbing a meal really quick before you go up.
Cool.
So, what's the name of that woman that we're supposed to be talking to there? Or is that secret? Should I be saying that here in this tavern? I don't know.
Aqua?
Yeah.
It doesn't seem secret because they were mentioning Lillian. Do you remember reading about her, Captios?
what
in
do
the
I know
books-
about Lillian?
Boom! All right, what you know about Lillian? Lillian is the proprietor of the observatory. She is the holder of the book of Aquarius. And she lives here. She succeeded her last person, who was a very old human, about the end of the last Great Game. So that's like 10 years ago.
Got
Then
it.
she was a bit of a child, so now she's like a lady in her 20s.
I know that she's the keeper of the observatory, the Book of Aquarius, and the steward of the observatory.
Yeah,
But that's how far my knowledge goes.
they were mentioning her name, so I imagine they have some knowledge. It's so close. I don't
Yeah.
know a whole bunch about Aqua, but I don't. They were in the presence of two celestials, essentially, like really close to two of them. They had to have known something, at least, or at least a vibe of some sort.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like if people in this town know Lillian, then we should just ask, where is Lillian?
Sin looks around the tavern. Is there anybody close by, sitting by?
No, this tavern is very very empty. Like it has like all of like 4 tables. It's a small mountain tavern. There is the proprietor of the tavern.
What can I?
I mean, he's just serving out again stew of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, you could talk to him. He probably knows something.
He's a middle-aged man with brown hair and green eyes that looks like he's been working from dawn to dusk, and he's very small town skeptical of outsiders. Yeah, you definitely don't need to roll a whole lot to tell. He's like, I run an inn, so this is part of my job, but
Don't not a huge
this
fan.
is making me very uncomfortable.
Maybe I shouldn't be the one to.
Nope.
One of you, at this point, y'all just do your thing.
I know
Clearly, I'm incapable. So
Oh my god. I was like, Captios, do you want to talk to him?
Sure. Why not? So, goes over the bench and walks over to the proprietor and says, excuse me, sir, people outside mentioned Lillian.
Yes.
Is she someone who we could go and see?
I don't see why not. Do you have business with Lillian?
We do have business with Lillian. We do need to go see her, and honestly, the sooner we go see her, the sooner we'll be out of this
Well, she
tavern.
she spends her time in the observatory. It's an easy place to find her.
Now, out of character, or in Capios's mind, is the observatory a place that like people can just go visit?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It's like, think of it as like it's an important place. I think the Smithsonian was a good example you used. Think of it like a landmark like the Smithsonian. People can go visit it during normal business hours.
But like there are rooms that are like you can't enter.
Exactly. Like this is the archive, not allowed. But here's
Got it.
the
Yeah.
public area.
Got it. Awesome. Thank you. And no, I think that's all the questions I have right now. I appreciate your time. I flip him a silver coin.
And he catches like, thank you for your hospitality, because a silver is a fair amount of coin for a tavern owner.
Yeah. And I walk back and I sit down, take a nice big gulp of my milk, wipe my mustache away, and I go.
Luna does the same, like almost like in unison, like immediately half a second after him, just mimics
Like,
him.
yes, this is what needs to happen. Yeah,
And,
how is everyone handling their beverages?
I mean, Ozzy's is gone.
Mine's gone.
Does Solus and Pisces, do they like their mead?
So Solus is like sipping on her mead, and she's not drinking it fast. Pisces is not drinking hers at all.
Failed.
And I look over at Alexa and I'm like, I assume alcohol like messes with your emotions.
Mm.
And that might be why Pisces isn't drinking. But also, like,
Yeah, it
I don't
does.
know.
Glove, 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 glove.
So like
As
on
another ale just arrives next to the people that don't have that need their drink refilled, like guy comes back with a pitcher, just assumes like just kind of gives like, do you want more? Gives you the eye, and then
Yes.
pours away.
He's gone.
So like on that, because Alexis try not to like just assume stuff. So she looks at like, you know, she looks at Solus and Pisces like, I'm sorry, did I like, is there something that you guys would prefer that I can get you?
So like Solus is like tapping like the top of her wine glass. It's like, I would like an ale. Like
she's not dainty and like.
And she's like, you can tell it's just like trying to like find the right words because there's an effort being made. It's like, I would prefer ale.
No, Solus, no. She puts her cup down. Say it how you mean it. Say, I'm not a little bitch. I want an ale.
And
So easy.
It's like, so Solus looks at Sin. It's like, so you're saying I should say what I mean and be more assertive.
Sure, yeah. Just don't do it to a zodiac.
So she takes her mead. Poor Sin. Throws her mead into Sin's face. And when she's like responding to this, takes her ale. And then looks to Alexa and says, I'm good. I think she needs another one.
Okay. And then like,
It's like, and then as she drinks it, she slams down, she takes it down, she like proper stuff. I'm like, thanks, Sin. I really needed that. You're such a good friend. And she's not being sarcastic. Also, this taste that. Taste that. It's fucking horrible.
Lick.
It tastes like honey. It's like, do you see? Yeah.
and then like Alexa will look to like
It's-
Pisces
and then-
to like,
and she,
can I
like,
get you something else?
She grabs the
Pisces?
towel. Like, I hear it's good for your hair though, and she's like wiping off Sin's face.
Oh, yeah,
Indeed.
thank you. I'm not even mad, Solus. It's just- I'm a little impressed, to be honest.
This is what I want to do.
Okay.
Also,
all
out
right.
of character, I have to go take a bio break real quick. I'll be right back.
Fantastic. Alexa's stunned. So what's everyone
Yeah.
else doing? She's like,
Seeing Solus do this, I'm like, Captius remembers something. And he's like, oh, actually, Solus, I forgot, when you left before, I forgot to give you this. And so he reaches into his bag and like way back from the vault, he got this like reagent that was an everlasting light,
mm-hmm.
right, from Robin. And he
yeah.
slides it across the table. And he was like, when we were back in the vault, I actually like thought that this was something that you would actually use. I just never got a chance to give it to you, like to practice all your light building. And I don't know how builders specifically work, but I imagine you could use it for practice.
So she takes that, and she's like high on throwing things in Sin's face. And she says, I don't need any practice. She still grabs it. It's like, but I'll take this all the same. Thank you very much.
Incredible.
And then, yeah. She's just got like 10 levels of cocky. She's just,
yeah.
Luna, who's like, oh yeah. And now they're like tavern reminiscing. Sounds like she slams the table with her little tiny hands. Like, I remember that. You were being an asshole. And she points to like emo Ozzy. And he's like, just Brood McBruderson, like, more ale, please.
That's right, because Luna could see us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like looking at this and looking at it, like, why were you there anyway? Somebody looks to Ozzy, didn't want to tell me.
At the vault?
Yeah. At our vault. She uses the word our specifically.
Just looking around, side-eyes Captios, like, I honestly don't remember It's been so long.
It's been so out of character. Why were we at that vault?
Why were we?
We were raiding it for
you
Ozzy's weapon.
were looting
Ozzy's weapon. That's right. Okay. Yeah, just I think took something. Jacob took something, and we just kind of wanted to see if we could get it back or something. You know.
She drinks her milk like, I don't understand.
Cactus, I don't know how to. It's a fucking kid. I don't know how to talk to this thing.
So, Luna, has Jacob ever told you not to do something and you did it anyways?
All the time.
Yeah. So, Ozzy needed a weapon at the time. I mean, he's much more powerful now, but at the time he needed a weapon because he lost his other one. And so, you know, given that he's your brother, he decided we should go into this vault and take one that Jacob has because he knew Jacob had it. And so we went into the vault to retrieve this weapon.
Oh, he says, like everything made sense.
Sounds pretty normal, huh?
Just picking something up from the vault.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Does she seem like incredulous at all?
No, she seems like
Okay.
you just explained how like magic works. Like, oh, of course, uses pixie dust.
Got it.
Got it.
Oh,
Just completely believing you. Absolutely
Yeah.
trusting on that. Yeah. Captio said it. It's like the word of God. Just... Ozzy drinks. His edgelord points go up by 1.
Say, Ozzy, why didn't you want to tell Luna about that? I forgot I asked. Oh, Jesus Christ.
The proprietor of this tavern. Jesus. Turns around like, what?
So is Ozzy not out of character? Is Ozzy not answering that?
Well,
Then-
he made a sound, and then Sin was like,
got it.
"Fuck, man, I don't want to do that badly."
I'm just drinking my ale.
So go ahead. Sid.
Oh, go ahead. No, go.
I was gonna say, so I look to Pisces while this is going on, and I say, I assume that just by you being around, we'll get at least an audience with Lillian.
Pisces nods her head. Yeah, I believe that we would. I see that they have no reason to reject you, even if I wasn't here.
Here's the thing. If we want to go talk, if Aqua's truly at the observatory and we want to go talk to Aqua, is there like a secret code word, like a password that we have to know? Or do we just go up to Lane and say, hey, we want to talk to Aqua. Can we please talk to Aqua?
That's the case. That last one right there.
Interesting. Okay.
Is
cool.
Aqua a separate entity from Lillian?
Yes.
Then?
Yes.
Huh. Let's see.
She simply holds the book and maintains the book.
Got it.
Why her?
She was chosen, or rather, she took up the job.
Oh, it's a volunteer thing.
In this case, yes.
Why did you say it like that?
Because everyone chooses how they manage their book differently. I, for example, have decided to distribute the responsibilities of my book across multiple very responsible people. It's very, very important too, because considering it allows them to just make life.
No. Make life.
Yes, like let's see, they animated a tree. They did that.
It seems really helpful for what's going on in this world right now, but okay.
It's not for me to know and understand, simply to protect that spark of life.
how many other vessels are there that have books of the zodiac?
Well, she thinks like, I don't, and she kind of like uses like a little accent. No, could be 1, 0, or many per each book. Simply the way it functions.
I see.
Quick question about this passed out dude on this disc next to Alexa.
Oh yeah, the Jesus is very curious about that too.
Yeah. Is this like Capra? Like the new Capra? Like the old Capra?
So
Who is this guy?
Pisces looks a bit over and says, I don't know, but I do feel as though he is very calm right now.
They're different from Capra. Interesting.
Yes. Very cancerous. She uses that term very specifically.
Yeah. And when we were on, just out of curiosity, when we were on top of the ramparts, did you see your brothers and sisters out with the celestial hosts?
She's like, I didn't see them so much as I felt them.
They're going after
That
Solace, aren't
sounds-
they?
My brothers and sisters are out to cleanse all of Aurora. Have already cleansed, from the look of it, Freeport. So it does bear to reason, again, not my forte, it bears to reason that Freeport is next on the path.
So the dragons have the ability to like hold a mental council. Is that something that you guys do, or have you like been cut off from that, or like how does that work?
We don't have a council per se. That is what the voice of the 12 is supposed to do, is educate. Abdicate. Not abdicate, yeah, educate. To negotiate and mediate. That position is since vacant. So we're responsible for our independent domains without needing to check in with each other, unless we actively go out and choose to do so. Such as when Virgo and I were talking earlier.
Okay, fair enough. Sin,
Yes. Yeah.
how are you feeling after today?
How am I feeling after today?
Yep.
I mean, do I even need to tell you? I mean, Pisces already knows. She can just tell you for me.
Abused. Pisces just says as she says that.
Do you feel helpless, Sin?
She like
He just
leans
has like
over
a
at the
smirk
table
on
and
his
just
face.
and just looks at Pisces.
Oh. No, I need permission.
Oh, now you need permission.
I do. She says like that that was a real statement.
Anger agrees.
Am I? So all the other times that you just said everybody's emotions out publicly, you didn't need permission, but now you do.
Correct.
Looks at Captios and Alexa. Am I the only person here at this table that sees something wrong with that? Hello?
Captius, with like a slight smirk on his face, is like, I assume that right now it's confused. You're feeling confused.
I am feeling like I'm 5 seconds away from putting this club into your face, Captios.
That's kind of like, how about we step away from the conversation of feelings?
I've had blood on me. I've had wine on me. I've had a wall in my face. This is the past hour.
You need us to prestidigitate the meat off your face? So that
No, I want it there.
It's gonna get sticky.
I don't care.
Okay.
Sola said it's good for my hair.
Yeah, Soul's like leans back from like towards towards northeast. It's like, she don't care.
Listen, I just want to get to this observatory and talk to this other Zodiac and then go about our plan. As we saw, it's not looking too hot out there, and we gotta do something.
And Alexa, like, it takes a moment, and she's like takes a deep breath and looks to Sin, and she's like, we're going to be facing a lot of Zodiarcs, and they are going to have many abilities, some that we are not aware of. And they could do things to you far worse than what Pisces has done. Are you okay with that? Or will you be okay with that?
Like, when I don't... Like, dying? Am I okay with dying?
No, not dying. I
mean, I'm not okay with anything that the Zodiacs do. I think it's stupid.
If we are going to negotiate, I know we're going to speak with Aqua to get some information, but we're then going to go to the forges to then reach out to Zodiarcs and get them on our side. If one of them perceives you as being hostile and does something to silence you for a little bit, is your response going to be to then just fight them and lose an ally for us?
Solus looks to Alexa, and she's had an ale. Maybe we're not the problem. Maybe they're assholes.
They probably are. I'm not saying that they're not, but unfortunately they're assholes that we need on our side.
We don't need assholes on our side.
So like pulls Solus's cup over and looks at it and realizes it's empty.
It is
like,
empty.
So she's drunk.
And as you're talking to Alexa, she's like, yeah, it's like over. It's like just slowly takes Sins.
I'm imagining her like hair is sloppily going over and grabbing stuff. Like, and we all take this. Bring it on.
Like her yeah, on that note, like her hair is like Medusa. It's always like typically like normal hair, but now it's like life of its own.
Oh. Like pushing it out of the way. Alexa, I can't tell you what's going to happen when things happen or whatever. I wholeheartedly live in here now. So I will try to do what I need to do in order to get to our end goal, ideally. But I also don't like when people take away my emotions, force me to live my traumas in the past, you know, all this shit that you Zodiacs do. Not a fan.
I know.
Might get angry.
Solus is just accenting everything Sin says.
I just want to make you aware that unfortunately you might have to deal with more of it. I don't know for a fact, but just to prepare yourself.
I was like, head to table. It's like, we know for a fact. When have we met one of them that was not so difficult that we wanted to punch them? Name one!
She has a point.
Yeah.
One, Alexa! I'm asking you to name one. Name one.
I'm not going to name one because I can't name one. But I'm saying if you punch them, it's going to be really hard to get them on our side.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, when Captios gets up, I guess we got to start moving. And he looks at Sin and he goes, Sin, Alexa's right. And just know that I trust that in the moment you're going to do the right thing. He just gets up and he's just standing there waiting for other people to get up because just awkwardly.
Yep.
Also stands up, but Sin's going to help Solus.
Yeah, I'm like someone needs to help Solus.
So you take Solus. She's able to stand like, I'm fine, and she takes steps like, I'm not fine, thank you. You're such a good friend.
And like Alex is gonna go up to the bar and just like, do you have water that I can? Thank you, and then just be like, you know, Solus, you should really drink this before. I think it'll help a little bit.
Okay. And she takes it, and she's got like one arm around Sin, and like one hand on this mug, and she's like taking it to go. She's also taking every other cup to go with her hair, like.
So you got to put the cups down. They don't belong to you.
But I want them.
But see, maybe not. They are very nice.
They are very nice.
We'll find other very nice cups somewhere else. But these belong to that man.
They have good stuff in them.
I grab her by the sides of her face. Let go of the fucking cups.
And she like leans forward, like forehead to forehead, like, okay. And they just all drop and hit the floor.
I imagine she,
including
like,
the water.
That was just like that was like the helpful cup. That was
all gone.
She'll be fine. She'll walk it off.
Jesus is like,
And this ridiculous party walks out the door.
Yep.
Leave a couple bronze on the table.
Yep.
For the
pay for the cleanup and the.
Yeah.
All right. So now you're out. Same people watching you outside. You know, the 6 militia that
with
exists.
now a drunk,
yeah,
a drunk Solus, I imagine. And
Alexa,
her
is
hair
there
going
anywhere
everywhere.
specific you wanted to go before we head to the observatory?
No, we can go to the observatory. If we get any information, we can go there on our way back. I think we have to come back here anyway.
Walk to the observatory.
Not that long of a trip. Make it to the stone bridge. Here, the gusts of wind are strong, as there is nothing catching it. As you go to the stone bridge, there are no rails. It is flat. It is wide enough for I think it's about 30 feet wide. It's a pretty wide bridge. It's not like it's a rickety small bridge, but there are gusts.
Is there like a mechanism to like hold people in place? Like, I don't know, like wires.
Like to anchor yourself to the bridge.
Yeah. No, okay. There's not.
It's like, no.
No, there's not.
Great.
And
how far down is it?
Oh. Very fatally down. I mean, like.
I just want to know if, like, while I'm dropping, I can cast fly to fly.
You could write in a book and cast fly. Like, it is a long way. Like, it's the top of the mountain and it's like cliff. Like,
got it. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So you get a nice howling wind, and you get like all of Solus's hair, like all dozens of feet of it, just in one direction.
Well, we got to get across.
We still have the disc, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
And Ode.
Okay.
And
okay. Yep. Is there room for another item on there? Not heavy, but like
a Solus?
I know we had gone over like how much it could lift, like I think 2 people, because I don't think Ode is, how hefty is Ode? He's a fighter.
155,
he was able to hold a
145.
Ford, and Ford was heavy.
Yeah,
actually,
a disc can hold up to 500 pounds mechanically, and Ode's probably $160.
Okay, so like 3 people, roughly.
Don't trust.
What do you want to put on there? Yeah.
In her drunken state to be on the disc. I'm gonna put Wraith on there, and then piggyback a Solus across the bridge.
It's like Solus just takes one, like, but look at that over there. They just like
free ride.
Yeah, like I'm a little bit more in control if I have her all piggybacked. Yeah.
Okay. So really, the question is, what precautions do you wish to take before you cross? So you're piggybacking Solus. Ode's on a disc.
Weirdly enough, I just feel like the lower we get to the, if we crawl
we're crawling.
Across,
dude, we're crawling across.
Yeah, like you keep that anchor like real low, just like crawl across to make sure you don't get like gathered by a gust of wind.
So you're gonna army crawl across this.
Yep.
This long stone. Okay. It's not short.
What else?
In like literature, how do people normally get across? They literally just walk across, or like
in literature, like Auroran literature, or like modern literature when there's
No, in
like
Auroran literature, like
it's part of the thing. Like they would walk across. Like if you want knowledge that badly, it's the idea of like fear.
Oh.
Got it.
Yeah.
How far is it? Like, how long is the bridge?
I mean, what are we trying to get out of the length? Because it's
Misty Step.
It's hundreds of feet, so more than
Okay.
30.
Okay. I was like, can I just Misty Step over there?
Yeah.
The answer is no.
As folklore goes, the bridge is guarded by a dragon of wind. That if you have pure intentions for your knowledge, no wind shall befall you thusly. However, if you have malicious intent, it will see deep into your soul and fling you to the depths of Arhor'ha's bowels.
I cast grease across the bridge.
God.
Great.
Oh my
And
god.
whoop, there they go.
Something that might be smart is to tether ourselves to each other.
Like mountain climbers?
Yes, so that if someone does manage to get taken by the gust of wind, we can work and get them back up.
Do we have rope? I think
Yeah,
I
we
have
should
rope.
all have rope.
Just
Yeah.
about everyone. I assume everyone has 50 feet of rope.
Yeah.
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 Like that just might be something we can do. Like I know we're gonna try to be low to the ground and everything, but stuff happens. I'd rather be in a situation where we can get everyone back up. Tensor's disc. Does it like? How does wind affect it?
It doesn't.
It stays behind you.
It'll just be
so.
okay. So it'll
It'll
be fine.
always be, I think, within 10 feet of you. So.
Okay. Just wanted to double check. It's not be like, and then I go heat it off into the distance. Like, bye, Ode and Wraith. Bye.
Just shot put them right off.
And yeah, like I imagine secure them to the thing, like just.
Yeah.
Does
Right.
this wind feel like if I needed to cast fly, I wouldn't be able to fight against the wind?
It seems like if you need to cast fly, you'd be able to cast fly.
Okay.
Like unless
cool.
something is actively trying to stop you, like a gust spell or dragon wings buffeting you.
Okay, so
Yeah,
this
like-
is just like natural wind.
But currently, it's just natural wind, correct?
Yeah.
It's just it's just high up.
Yeah, like my thing that I was thinking is like I could maybe turn to a giant bird, but with the wind is really hard. Like imagine navigating through that would be really difficult with multiple things on her back.
But
Yeah.
do it like one at a time.
I don't know. So it's a. Let's try walking first, and then if that fails, bird
Or die.
or die.
Option.
Bird or die. Yeah.
Bird or die.
Next one, Crunchyroll, right? Bird
It's
or die.
crawl, bird or die.
Crawl, bird or die.
I'm a bird, so what?
So
That
I'm
seems like
go-
reincarnated then. I reincarnated as a bird, so what?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Who's going first?
Who's going first? Yeah, what's your marching order?
I'm gonna cast Expeditious Retreat from the robe, using one of the charges from the robe on me, and then I'm going to look back and say, "Are we army crawling across? Or are we just gonna try to walk it?"
I think army crawling honestly would be the smartest choice. That's what my instinct was telling me.
So I start to army crawl at double the speed across this thing.
Okay.
We're tied together.
No. I'm opting out of getting because Capios in his is like I'm of no use. If Sin flies off this thing, I'm just gonna get pulled with her because there's no point, and I can like fly for myself, so there's really no point.
Oh, he can fly, Sola says. Like, he can fly. You know what? I can fly, too.
No. See, just imagine you're flying with the wind, but
So-
you're actually on my back.
So
You carrying two people on your back?
So,
She just got soul on her.
Oh, Solus.
Solus.
Yeah, sorry.
Solus' piggyback is on a piggyback ride. And,
Yeah.
and Alexa has seen this before, but, like, Solus' hair, like, goes into wings. Like, it just constructs that way. She's like, look. And then now, there is a gust of wind, so, like, dangerously, like,
She's
catches it
gonna
like a
get-
kite.
She's gonna get yeeted off. She's gonna just.
Solus, please God, put the wings away.
And she drops it like, which god?
I
Yeah!
never thought
Yeah.
about.
And she bites you. Just Like, and not even like a calculated one, like this. It's like, what? God, just bite your cheek. Like, fine.
I am going to throw you off of this bridge.
But if you did, I would fly. I would fly
Not wrong.
like an eagle through the sky.
So, seriously,
Fly
you
like
and
an
I
eagle.
have a job.
St. Thatcher, I'm not gonna die.
We need to
I'm
tie her
gonna
to you.
fly. She's just
Do
singing.
we need to secure her to you? Instead of like just like getting roped.
I just want to go to the fucking observatory.
It's like let's try.
Sin looks back to you guys and says, I should probably go first. Because if you guys go, I don't want to brag or anything, but I am got a strong, so maybe I could.
And I'll take
do
up
have
the rear.
Yeah. I do have Solace with me, so it might be kind of a pain, but I can give it a shot. I don't know.
Okay.
Unless somebody else wants to carry this, because.
Nope.
Okay.
She can
All
go on
right.
the disc, but I feel like that would just end poorly.
Yeah.
All right.
Tired to the disc.
So the first person to go across the bridge is.
Then
And it's
Me.
And are you
with a soul
walking?
in tow.
Yeah, with a piggybacked Solus, so crawling's kind of out.
Yeah. Just very carefully walking, like putting my feet down with purpose of like the wind, and not just like casual stroll, but like really making sure that like my balance with Solus and the wind, I'm gonna die.
You're doing what people do over like a water bridge. Like you're like, I expect it to be uneven, even though it's like solid stone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got that. I've got the intent. Like I'm saying, as dead center as possible. One step at a time. Dear God, I don't want to be flung off this thing. Check. All right. So Sin goes off with Solus in tow. 10 feet out, 20 feet out, no problem. Is anyone following, or are you waiting a certain distance before joining Sin?
The rope's only so long, right?
Yeah.
50 feet. Yeah.
So I think like Alexa, like, and seeing that she's standing, I'm like, well, there's no point in crawling now. I feel like it just looked ridiculous at this point.
So Captius is literally on the ground in an army crawl, and everyone's
is
just
he already?
walking past him. Everyone's just walking right back.
And Luna's like, you look kind of silly.
Yeah, like Alexa's like, okay. She's like, still like, it's kind of like where you're trying to keep us grounded without like being on the ground. So like you're like very purposeful, low gravity walk.
Yeah, low center of gravity. So you're doing a duck walk across this big thing?
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, for safety.
Think Mines of Moria with the
crunch.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
All right, so you're doing the Mines of Moria dwarf walk across the bridge whenever possible. Okay. There's winds. It's howling. It's fortunately not very stormy out right now. Like there are clouds and whatnot, but no more than the chilling howls of high mountain winds against you. You get halfway through the bridge. And you hear something. Well, I say Alexa hears something to start, which appears to be the flapping of large wings.
Great. Okay. From what direction?
From behind the observatory.
Ah.
So
okay.
if it was something, your line of sight is blocked by the observatory itself.
Fair enough.
Okay. That is something currently only Alexa hears. Do you wish to react to this?
Yeah, I'll be like, there's something that's going to be coming. Big flappy wings from behind the observatory. I'm not sure.
Have you heard the wings before, Alexa? You've heard a couple dragons. So is it any of those dragons?
Does it sound like big flappy wings?
Go ahead.
Big feathery wings?
No, roll nature.
Does it sound like angels come and fuck up our shit?
Yes. To go with what I hear versus the grand possibilities of what makes the flappy sounds. Go ahead.
Which one am I? Sorry, which one am I rolling?
Nature.
Nature. Okay.
6.
Nope. What do I think it is?
You think it's a dragon?
Probably a dragon. What dragons do we know that would be probably in this area? We know.
None of our allies. So the copper dragon, Bile and Vine are basically screwed because of that last battle. The red dragon maybe but the red dragon's on Elo's side. We were told that.
Would he be in this area? I'm trying to think
know.
of like kind of like areas where like we might have got intel. Like, okay, well, this might be more than just walking over. So everyone just brace yourself. For
Should we?
I'm already
I don't know what you
braced.
do.
I say from the ground.
Yeah.
I'm
So
literally army crawling the speed at which you guys are walking.
Expeditious crawl.
Yep.
Like all we can do is just keep moving forward and just get prepared for whatever dragon's gonna come out.
Okay, so you continue on past the middle of the bridge onward.
Yep.
Okay. All right, you continue on.
Oh God.
Okay. I like the jokes.
All right, so you continue on, and then everyone can start hearing it, which hears to be a flapping of wings. And the first time you see it is the head of what looks to be a serpent, like a large snake's head, with scales that are iridescent, so they're very much like a pearl on the afternoon sun. The scales are ivory iridescent, and very deep blue, much like the sky, eyes. And the snake itself, it is very serpent. It is not dragon, like big bulky body. It is like a snake with white wings.
Some
And
people say that dragons are snakes with wings.
It's true. Some do. This one is pretty much a snake with wings. As it flaps and it curls like Midgarsomer around the observatory. And as you approach there, you're in the presence of a large, call it a divine-looking dragon, because it's serpenty. And it looks down upon you.
Alex is gonna stop and look up and be like, would they have any intel on who this is?
Well, yeah, I think that's a pretty obvious creature for both.
Aquarius.
But
Yeah.
very notable creature. So yeah, Alexa and Captios both would recognize this as Aqua,
Okay.
in her Kotal form.
Okay. Does she seem aggressive towards us, or just like observing as we're walking in?
She's observing.
Okay.
Those wings
Sitting at
look
the
like
front
they
of the
could
line
like
is like.
no idea. And those
Should I-
wings could look like they could catapult you off.
Yeah, Alexa looks up and be like, that, so that's Aqua, Sin.
So attack or
No, don't attack. That's the person we're gonna
Okay.
ask questions.
Okay.
Just keep moving.
Okay. Do you guys keep
And, like,
moving?
Yeah, like Alexa's like gonna kind of keep her eye like on, like, not falling, but also just like trying to watch and see if Aqua's like gonna react in a bad way to them keep moving. Like, if there's tradition or something that they're supposed to that she's unaware of.
No tradition. Occasionally, you might get questions asked of you.
Yeah.
All right. So you continue on, and it keeps on looking down. If you've ever seen the Never-Ending Story, it's like the Sphinxes, where it's like there's that just anticipation as the eyes are absolutely watching you.
Creepy.
Yeah, but Pisces is there, and you guys get to when you're within like we'll say sprinting distance of the door, or in like Captios is like a light jog at extra speed, and the creature begins to uncoil. That's it. Just like begins to recede, the same way it began to coil around.
She's beautiful. She's quite shiny. Oh, is she letting us through the door?
Just keep walking.
There is a door. It's a large entrance to the observatory type building. It's made of metal, very reinforced.
Yeah, I think having conversations inside buildings is going to be best versus outside in the wind.
Two sconces on either side that light up and give it a very nice natural look as opposed to like cold metal.
So Sin at the front of the line, I guess, will reach that door and
Open the door.
knock.
Yeah, thonk, thonk,
Guys.
thonk.
Are we about to conquer 4 doors in one session?
Wow.
Jeez.
I don't know. Well, the XP must flow. Those are 4 separate encounters right there. At least moderate. Alright, Sin knocks on the door. It takes a moment, and after a while, you hear the door open, and there is a nice lady. She's blonde. She looks like she's late 20s, very academic looking, like not paying like a huge amount to hair. It's like it's frizzy as all hell. She looks a little tired. I think she's been up late, but candid. body language, very open to things. Has like this satchel where scrolls are just like half falling out of it, like more than one book attached in like bandolier style across like hip to thigh, very much like field researcher looking. And she looks to what can only be assumed as a tiefling holding a solace with like all this hair just like going all over the place with the wind. And she's like, "Can I help you?" Right.
Are you Lillian?
What?
Lillian.
Yes, I am. I gotta get away from the mic.
Can we talk? Can we talk to you like inside where it's not like, you know?
What?
Can we talk to you?
Yeah, we're talking right now.
No, I mean like not. Oh, God, guys.
Do you want to come inside?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And she steps back.
Oh. Being a Solace was a lot easier than I thought. She's like passed out.
She's like taking a brief nap, drooling on Sin's shoulder. All right, you've conquered a door.
Oh, yeah.
Inside looks nice. It'd be pretty much Capio's happy place. It smells like freshly bound leather. The smells of like ink, paper. It has that specific like tome library smell to it. You visit a library with a lot of old books. As you step in, and the main area isn't really heavy on books. In fact, it looks very comfortable, like a lounge. It's got carpets and chairs and couches that you'd expect to see in like castles. It has a little place with like pitchers for like wine or drink. It has natural incense that's burning. It's got wonderful natural lighting across all the windows in the main area. And the lady, she steps back and she waits for everyone to pile in as she gets herself a glass of water. There's unfortunately not enough cups for everyone, so she like does the 4 cups that she has with water.
We should have just allowed Solus to take some of those cups. Then we would have had enough cups for everybody.
Damn, you're right.
Imagine those cups just flapping in the wind as you're carrying her across.
So your name is Lillian, is that correct?
And she pours herself a glass of water and like, it's like, that's correct, but you have me at a loss. I don't have your name.
My name is Capios Bama.
I thought you said mama for a
And
second.
as you say that,
right.
she takes out a book as you're talking. Go ahead.
We come here kind of not at the advice of Pisces, and I obviously.
She's like, Pisces, hi.
To speak to Aqua.
So she's looking down at the book when you're done talking. She gives you like good eye contact, not to be rude.
Yeah, of course.
And then she's like, well, go ahead and get comfortable. She looks up and like motions to like the couches and chairs. Shouldn't be long. Is there anything that I can help you with? Anything I can do to help with the candles or dawn forges or celestial problems you're having or
What book are you reading right now that has all this information?
it's like the Book of Aquarius. She even says like with a little bit of a laugh to it.
That would make sense.
Oh, so she just wrote your name in to get all the information on you. I'm assuming. It's kind of like with, your book, which I'm assuming is also in that book.
So there's some sort of like recursive thing here where like
Loop.
my book's in the yeah.
Ooh,
Like,
that's
as-
trippy. Oh.
Like, well, you're here, and had you have perceived threats, like, Aqua would have blown you off, but you're not. So welcome. We have water. We have warm goat's milk. Much better. makes you a little sleepy.
Like as like Solus is passed out. I'm like,
Looks at Alexa. We have tea.
oh, thank you.
We have biscuits.
What can the Book of Aquarius tell you?
Looks at Alexa. Like, anything I want to know? Past, present, or future?
Because we were coming here to ask Aqua about Aqua is past, right? If I'm sorry, out of character.
Aqua's past.
Yeah, like about past things. Would you also be able to help us understand, current situations? We have a little bit of a conundrum that we're trying to figure out.
Yes, at my choice to do so. Although I do not personally know everything, I can read about it.
How does your book differ from Paulo's book?
Paulo's book. Honestly, that's a fun story. So she closes her book and
I sit down.
Yeah, she takes a glass of water, starts drinking it.
Listen to her tale.
This Paulo's book is very similar to the Book of Aquarius. His book traditionally was supposed to be a library, but when he became the Sage of Light, he inherited an enhanced version of his book, which tapped in directly into Aquarius's forge. And as you know, Aquarius's forge is directly tied into all of knowledge, past, present, or future. So using his great abilities as the Champion of Light, one of the previous Great Game participants, and his ability of the book, he gained a lot of breadth of knowledge that he could then tap into. It really did change his book, which is unfortunate for the heirloom, but it is being well maintained in a swamp. Except for a page that you're holding on to dearly, and you would never ever give away, right? And she's like tapping a book, like, do not burn books. Books are life.
Actually, I think that's part of my conundrum right now. So my friend here, Sin, who I trust immensely, is holding on to the book because I've recently inherited
part of the power of Virgo. Says the woman who has a book that can read everything.
She's like, I am aware of all your problems.
And I'm not sure having both is the right thing to do.
Topics of morality. So there is an entire section on that.
And he interrupts her. It's not even morality, it's
ethics? Strategy. So your end game is
that no one person should have that much power.
I see. And she looks around the group. Paolo had that much power.
Good.
And at the end he died saying he made a mistake.
Did he die saying he made a mistake?
I mean, he kind of did, right? He said that I did too much for these guys. Like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, you say that in character. It's like, well, that was his opinion. Do you think he made a mistake?
I don't know enough about him to actually give an opinion, to be honest.
Well then.
I've been thinking about that more and more.
What I do know, and she taps her book, is that without that, what you called a mistake, the three of you wouldn't be alive. So I wouldn't, for my opinion, as someone who's not a divine being, but gets to read a lot about them, I don't think it's a mistake. I wouldn't have this conversation right now. And this conversation, she said the water, is delightful.
How long has it been since you've had a conversation like this?
It's been a few months. The townsfolk don't talk a whole lot. It gets a little weird when I know everything about them. So visitors are the best.
Sin lays Solus down on like a couch.
Yep.
Wherever.
Yep.
And then looks over to Lillian. How do you not drive yourself mad if you have all this access to every knowledge, past, present, future?
Well, it's like, here's what I do. I think about someone interesting. And I don't know anything about them when I think about them. And then I read about them. And then I just, for a little bit, I escape. Like, you are a very interesting person, Thatcher. And I just imagine, like, what would I do if I was thin? It's like she reaches out to reach her hand, like to shake your hand. It's like, honestly, I'm a big fan.
Look at that, Sin. You're a celebrity.
So you pretend that we're all like fictional characters in some fucked up storybook?
Pretty much, yeah.
Huh.
And then I want to learn more, so then I learn about somebody else, and then you just lose hours. So it's very entertaining. Says the first Wikipedia addict of Arhor'ha.
So it doesn't change your view of the world in current reality then, just from the stuff that you learn about?
No, not really. I think for every very sad, depressing thing I learn something very uplifting. It's a matter of perspective. I think I'd be a very poor keeper of the book if I held too much of a bias.
I see. Well, Cap, there you go. Just pretend everything you read in your book from Paulo is like interesting storytelling stuff.
Lillian, how do you keep yourself from acting on the knowledge that you have?
I don't really think about it that hard, honestly. So think about that. If I were to act, I know how it's going to play out, right? I didn't do it, so I'm not going to do it. If I was going to do it, I could find out and do it, and then I did it. So really, there is this one path. And in that path, I'm not doing a whole lot in it. So I don't have to worry about it then, really. Like, the big weight off my shoulders.
Very interesting.
Yes.
I didn't understand any of that, but that's okay. Fancy book.
Fancy book. That's right. That's right. It's a fancy book.
What is the difference between having a book like that and being given the powers of a Zodiarch?
So, like, well, that's something very interesting. It took me a while to understand that one. And she takes a seat and drinks her water. It's like, I don't know everything. I have to look it up. But there is this intermatrix web of predictive knowledge and currently scribed knowledge and previously transcribed knowledge of which I can search. And I'm very adept at searching it. But I don't know it. I'm not the knowledge. They are those functions. The scribe of the present, the archivist of the past, and the predictor of the future. They are those things. That information like resides within them.
Was Aqua once a person?
Yes.
What were they like?
Well, they were one person, and their personality fractured into three. So they were very eccentric, very humanitarian, but very... It's really hard to explain, having not been there. Have you ever seen a hyperactive gnome?
Yes.
Have you seen a hyperactive gnome with good intentions?
I think so.
Then very similar to that. It's just very about... Looks at Cap like, actually, a bit like you, Cap.
Oh, no. Split into three people.
Like, knowledge is great. Yeah.
It is.
And your heart's in the right place. Yeah, I'd say that they were very similar. It's true. I think that you take more initiative, though. That would be Uis. Uis gets more actively involved. I'm a bit more like Aqua.
Which one?
Uis is present.
Uis, present. The one that we'll see when we go to the forge.
I have more in common with Aqua. Like, the past has happened.
Does the splitting, like the splitting that happened, did that happen with all the people that are now Zodiarcs, or
Just a few. Gemini is another really popular one.
right? That would make sense.
Yeah, Aquarius to reconcile information. And she thinks back. No, it's. I mean, she's looking at Pisces. Like, depending how you look at it, like Pisces, like Pisces.
Then Pangers.
Yes.
Finger like meows.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, depending on how you look at it too, Leo and the soldiers.
The celestial hosts.
Oh, I don't know if you'd want to call them that. So there's the celestial hosts and like angels and hosts to Celestian, but like Leo very uniquely will. When they're done hollowing out a person, they are soldiers.
Oh.
I see.
Oh, I hate that phrasing. When you're done hollowing out the person, you're sometimes a soldier for you. Oh.
Yeah, that sounds really concerning. I don't.
Concerning husk.
Out of curiosity, and this is just pure curiosity, if Leo wanted to hollow out someone who had, I don't know, sold their soul to a devil, what would happen?
Not a whole lot, to be very honest. So they would attempt to remove something that they couldn't access.
Okay. Purely
Purely,
curious.
she's like just drinking her water. Like, yes, purely hypothetical. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make another deal with Gig? Like, out of character. Did he make another deal with Gig?
No.
Okay, I'm like, I thought you had your soul and everything was
I
fine.
have my soul. I have my soul.
I have my soul.
Okay, so we have a very interesting question for you, and it deals with, as you know, or you can find out, both Jacob White and Gig.
Yeah.
We were curious if you could help us understand something, because honestly, well, let's look around. The fate of the entire continent could
Not
rest
great.
on whether Gig holds the contract that Jacob White signed with another devil for control of Wrath.
She nods her head. So is your question, does he have the contract for Wrath?
I don't know what my question is, honestly. I don't know if that's the right question.
It's like, she's like, don't worry. She looks around, like, Aqua hasn't come down yet. Don't ask her bad questions. She has a short temper when it comes to that.
Like, Alexa kind of thinks, like, I think it's more of what is entailed in that contract. Is that something that you can see?
I could just pull the contract up.
Can you pull the contract, or can we read the contract? Because if it's something that we potentially have control over, it could help Aurora.
So Pisces speaks up at this point. So to understand this correctly, you want to read a document and you don't trust Gig.
We want to read a document because Gig does not want to tell us the information about the document.
How would you feel, Alexa, if we found out the truth of any of your parents and then read it out loud? Just be very careful about violating people's privacy and trust. It comes at a cost. It looks at sense like you have to be willing to pay it.
I think she's talking about what just happened. Kathy says out
I'm
loud.
like,
Yeah, it's like, you're not connecting the dots. Like, let me help you here.
I didn't see it that way. And I guess in a way you can look at it because Wrath is part of Gig. I think it was just trying to get an understanding.
I think that Gig values people who take their own initiative. But once you learn something, it's very difficult to unlearn something.
I can assure you of that. never unlearned something in my life. Capio says out loud.
Yep. So Lillian's like, so
Am I doing
blowing
this?
up this contract or not?
Yes.
Okay.
And
Or
Capios looks at Pisces and says,
can Pisces read the contract?
you
and, like,
trust Gig
I do.
inherently.
There's something to be said about unconditional. We are creatures of law, and we are bound by our law. So, unconditional, forever and always. That is right.
Out of character,
Captius.
because Capios was there during the little question that Alexa asked. Alexa asked, "Do you have that contract?" And Gig said, "No." Do you have a contract with Jacob White? Gig said, "No," because he has multiple, and the is very specific.
Yeah.
But this is more so a like emotional thing around like violating the trust of someone by not just asking them directly, but by basically circumventing that, I guess.
Do a mission, yeah. He could be
Yeah.
helpful, but he's not being helpful.
Yeah.
But also on brand for Gig.
Yeah. But like what we're doing is breaking his trust because
I'd say it's more Alexa, like people that say that like they are of high integrity and do a low integrity thing versus someone's always low integrity, so he's not being high integrity. He's already set the expectations he's going to do that. So you go out of your way to be a different person, which is in spite of.
Do you play at his level? Or
yeah.
do you
Yeah, basically, yeah, do you play at Gig's level? Because then I'll really come to question the idea of like high integrity, too much power, one person. You're gathering knowledge, which is power.
Yeah.
So like Lillian's like just like a page away. She's like,
yeah.
Why are you so hesitant on it, Alexa?
Just the phrasing.
Oh, fuck the phrasing. What is it that you want to do? Do it.
and
We
Soul's
need
like,
to we need to get information on this contract so that we understand why Reth is here and maybe we can understand what Reth needs to do.
If it helps you sleep at night, you could just ask for, you could frame it from like a Jacob perspective. You don't mind violating Jacob's trust.
Yeah. Okay. Then yes.
all right, she turns the page to the contract. It's like, okay, this is long. There are a number of contracts. And a lumber.
Is there one that specifically focuses on Jacob White and Reth?
There's more than one that focuses on Jacob White and Wrath.
Oh.
Oh.
That's concerning.
Yep.
Okay. And I guess we need to have information on those two things, on however many exist.
As your DM is not going to write up a multi-page
Right.
contract, what would you like to know about them?
What are the conditionals for Jacob White having control of Reth? Like, we knew one was like he would give Luna. Are there things that would give does he have control over Reth? I guess that's the first one. Does he have control over what Reth does?
So he has a few. One is that he has access to an item that allows him to control and direct Reth. He has one that involves him directly controlling and affecting Reth. And he has it's the best way, a mutually assured destruction contract.
Now that we have Luna, does that affect any of the contracts?
She is collateral on the object. So it's like lease. So if you break the lease, you lose Luna.
Okay. But because the person that was enforcing it has it, no one's enforcing that aspect of it, of like...
Correct.
Okay.
So that's a pay as you use? The control of Wrath is more serious. That's a number of souls delivered.
So, in a way, looking at this contract, have we actually just helped Jacob White by getting rid of the person that had the contract and getting Luna away from her? Because now he has the objects without the repercussion. Just thoughts.
Wouldn't that be under gigs then? Doesn't it just carry over?
It would be his responsibility, but then would
Right.
Gig enforce it?
Why do you need collateral if you have this contract? Like, if he has the item and there's a contract with the item, why do you need collateral? I mean, if it's all lawful and it's all like,
Because if you don't return it within the time period, then they're like, I'm keeping it. I'm like, well, I'm keeping Luna.
Is there a way to either deactivate the item that he has or to recontain Wrath?
So Lillian looks at Alexa, like, well, one topic at a time. What?
Well, yeah. Is there a way to deactivate the item that Jacob White has?
1 second. She looks at it. Yes. There is a way to deactivate the item. Yep, I'm sure that you want to know what this is. So the first thing is you will have to go into Avernus, to get some items, to put a ritual, and then when you're done it, you'll have to target it at the item itself. The distance of that is approximately 100 feet, but the good news is the conduit of targeting it can be separate from the ritual itself. So you can...
Okay. Is there... Because Mazikeen was able to, have Wrath come out, is there a way in the contract or a kind of notion, letting us understand how we could have Wrath go back?
Not in the contract, Lillian says. Like, there is the idea of resealing him to the Great Seal. It was created in that way, so you could reconstruct the seal, put him back in there.
What would it take to reconstruct the seal?
Now, that's where it gets interesting. She's like, looks over. It's like, because the Great Seal has been had to do a lot of research for the last Great Game on this one. You will need some local reagents here. You will need to go and reconstruct it with someone with great building capabilities.
We know someone.
Yes. And you will need some, we'll say, draconic and celestial aid to reinforce the housing of it. And then, finally, you'll have to subdue and put a subdued entity back in the cage.
Could we... Is it plausible to get the orb, or whatever the item is? For some reason, my brain went to orb. But whatever the item is that is controlling Wrath, if we were able to get a hold of it, could we control him to go to the seal?
Yes. It is control. So it is... Wrath is not very intelligent. So it follows orders much like a well-trained dog would. Or like a well-trained or an untrained dog, eat anything it can get a hold of. So this is the leash for the dog, to coin a metaphor.
I don't know if it would say it in the contract, but do you know what Jacob's intentions are with Wrath?
Intentions are not my forte. What is, was, and could be is.
What is he currently trying to do with Wrath? I know Wrath is going towards Crystallis.
One, never ask that question Aqua like that. She'll get very mad.
Okay.
Secondly, I'm not too sure I understand your question. I can tell you what he's done, what he's doing, and what he might do. So as far as motivations, like matters of the heart and mind, does not record
but you
that.
just know the facts of
it's
what's
very,
happening.
very objective. Correct. Not subjective.
I think because you know what's going to happen, is he, once Reth is finished with Crystallis, however that ends, will he turn Reth back on to us and to Gig in particular?
So she goes to like the very last pages of her book, and like where there is supposed to be like a blank page, like words start like floating onto it, and she takes a moment to just look at this, like give it a second.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you stay here for, say, 3 months, it looks as though Reth will not go back to the Great Seal, but he will fight, looks to Pisces, like the Celestials and the dragons.
So the main three things that we were concerned about, the Celestials and Dragons, it looks like if we do nothing, they will come to heads and stuff will happen. I don't think I want to. I don't want to know the result of that. But
well, it looks to Captus like there is something interesting in here that you should know, that Crystallis would then be under Jacob's rule politically. If that happens, he would have fulfilled his second contract, have no need for the first contract.
what is his second contract?
Like control.
Control of Wrath.
Control. Okay.
But that requires him to deliver a set of souls.
So you're saying that if we stay here, if the fact that Reth is going towards Crystallis, if no one does anything about it, he will get control of Crystallis.
If we do nothing across 3 months, this is the criteria I put in. What could happen, predictively, is that Jacob will have enough souls to fulfill his second contract, will have no need for the lease of his first contract, and utilize that as a weapon to fight against the Celestials and then the dragons. Be seen as the hero of Crystallis and humankind, and looks directly at Sin. I do mean specifically humankind. And have enough authority, more authority than the royal family or the magiocracy. It would be the start of the empire.
That's not something you want to hear.
Yeah, it's not good.
But it doesn't mean anything if Elo...
Destroys it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's correct. It does not go how well the Empire fares against Elo with this united front. But it would unify all of Arhor'ha against Elo. And having a singular villain to rally behind is a great unifying agent. But in this case, Elo is seen as the villain.
Yeah.
So
Well,
you're almost making it sound like while Jacob White would get Rain, it would help Arhor'ha fight back.
Oh yes, he's
against
a
Elo.
very fascinating person, Jacob.
How much time have you spent thinking as if you were Jacob?
Say again? Out of character.
How much time have you spent daydreaming as if you were Jacob White?
Well, it makes me want to take a shower, not gonna lie. But his stories and yours are very similar, Captios.
Oh.
oh,
Mm.
really?
I wonder who came first, the Captios or the Jacob. Sometimes.
I mean, I think chronologically.
Yeah, well,
Well, I mean, it would just be really weird if maybe Captios is at a point to make a wish and he becomes Captios. But I mean, that's my fan fiction. Just that's not real. I have a really good. She passed like the scrolled vibes. Like that's right here.
So that's what you've been working on. Got it.
Look. You ask how I stay sane. Fan fiction. And then there's like another pile that's a lot higher, and it's like clear like ships.
Good.
Oh my god. Well, I guess we have some decision making to do. How we want to handle this, you guys. I don't. This is depressing. I don't really know what is the best option.
Well, we know that we wanted to go to the Dawn Forges to try to get some Zodiarc's assistance. Getting there and then going back to Crystallis. Would that take 3 months?
Lynn's like, no, you guys trouble. It hasn't even been like a week or two.
Yeah. So in theory, with the path that we've been on, the version that, she's looking into, we may be already in the path to avoiding him from getting control in Crystallis. But is that something that we should really be focusing on?
Right.
If overall even if he gets control, it's uniting everyone against Elo.
The souls that Jacob needs to get, are they specific souls or a quantity of souls?
Quantity, Lillian says. He's been acquiring them through conflicts with Reth and his Rethlings.
Yeah.
So
sense.
on a scale of 0 to 100%, where's he at?
I'd say he's sitting about 60%, roughly,
No.
waiting for one last big battle to collect all those souls.
Which is the Crystallis that...
She points to me and is like, not Crystallis. You would think that, right? It is actually against the Celestials. That is how he comes to be the hero. She points like this book,
because
which like
they're
only
smiting
Captives can,
everything.
because Captives can like read this. It like hurts everyone else's brain, and you can like see. It's almost like an if-then. It's like looking like you're looking at code.
Flowchart.
You're looking at a
Yeah.
flowchart, yeah. For everyone else, it's like that's not how words work. But Cap's like, oh, flowchart. If this, then that. Okay, I've got it. This is the way you're talking about. And it's roughly this way of this turning on all the souls that the Celestials have captured, taking them back, leaving the Celestials bunk, and having his quota.
And then the Celestials are too weak to...
And they're forced to make an alliance, right? But it looks like he saves Crystallis.
Right.
At great personal cost.
Mm-hmm.
Like, got to have the martyr thing going on, too.
Of course.
So that happens. Say Jacob takes over Crystallis, is like the great hero or whatever. He's still a piece of shit. And like down the road, if we have the concept of, okay, well, let that play out so it benefits the world, not as a whole, and then deal with the Jacob White thing later. But then we will suddenly be turned around and be viewed as the bad guys by literally everybody on Aurora.
Alexa
after
kind of like
Jacob at that point.
Alexa stops for a second, like, I don't know if you've looked at our track record of stuff. I don't think currently we're viewed as the good guys.
Nobody knows who we are,
We're
right?
I might be.
Yeah.
Well,
The
Lillian's
whole
like,
storm.
yeah,
Mhm.
Captios, yeah.
that's a
Captios
good
stuff.
thing. Like, people are proud of that, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So we have that going for us, I guess.
It's not a
Okay.
lot.
Luna's like,
It-
I'm a good person. Like
I'm not saying that we're
like
not
I
good
am an
people.
heiress.
I'm not saying that we're not good people. I'm saying perception.
Ozzy, who has been very quiet up until now, with his emo son, My Chemical
It's like-
Romance ways, bangs going so much in his face that you can't see it at all. Alexa, who the fuck cares what people see us as? He takes off his like cowl, like so you can like see, and like Lillian has a reaction. It is kind of shocking.
maybe we should just stop caring.
Yeah, maybe we should stop caring.
He goes up to Sin and bashes her head in a wall.
Right, it's like, stop caring! So, like, Lillian looks like... You read about things, and you think you're prepared, but you're not. And she's like a little... like, just holding her water a little tighter. It's like, experiencing them is a little different than reading about them.
Ozzy.
Oh, it's like, the tension in this room could be cut by a knife. So Lillian looks at the group and says, "You seem a bit reserved." I don't know if confused is the right word. I don't think it is. Options. You need options.
There's a lack of hope, Lillian.
She looks to Luna. It's like, well, I mean, you have the embodiment of it right here, and points to Luna. And Luna's like,
Embodiment? What do you mean?
Luna, Hope, White, Thatcher. If there ever was a time to think of what is hopeful, then to have the bloodline of a Darkheart champion meet a literal celestial and be born into the world this way. If that's not hopeful, I don't know what is. It's like honestly, that's one of my favorite stories. So sad. It's like, oh, it's like I'm sorry. It's except for like the thing about your mom. That maybe not that.
The Thatchers were Darkheart champions?
Yes.
Hmm.
I'm sorry. What is a what's a Darkheart champion?
So Aqua finally arrives, and it's like insolent questions are being asked. I can smell it. She's like deja vu. She's like this tall librarian-looking person, right down to the glasses, hair and bun, whole nine. Just feel like it was just yesterday. I had Iolanthe Targaryen and a bunch of other people here asking similar silly questions. Read a book. And then she like looks at Pisces, and Pisces is like, "Hi, Aqua." It's like, "I can't help but notice that you're a little tense. Would you like to have some tea?" She's like, "I know that in the past tea is just made me more irritable." It's like, she's like, mm-hmm. Classic Aqua. On that little note, it is 7. Go ahead and close it here. Yep.
On the note of now, the questions that you ask must be very important.
Well,
And
it'll give you an entire week to ask a bunch of questions before you head off and set up what your course of action may be from this location.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Speaking of which,
So
guys,
many notes.
I hate to say this, but next week I'm moving. Well, next Monday I'm moving, and my wife told me that if I play on Saturday, she may leave me. So,
Well,
You can do a one-shot then.
Yep.
I think we were
Okay.
thinking about doing a one-shot.
I don't
Okay.
want the missus to leave you.
yeah.
I think it's a fair boundary. This is a
Yeah.
hobby.
Yeah.
So what we can do instead is set up a one shot, but that means that you get 2 weeks to set
Plan
those
our
things up.
questions.
Although I do think that you'll probably be busy with moving. So really, it's pop in when you can. Maybe pull in the community. Alexa and Sin have it pretty well in tow as well. And
Moving all the way we're moving out of New York City, so it's a pretty big one.
Yeah,
it's a big one. I would say that's slightly a priority.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
I just hate being the one that has like so many things going on this summer, like this summer specifically. But
I mean, when we're social friends, like I had the medical thing, so you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Yep. So, by far not. And really, we had some very wonderful people join us in the Discord server recently. So that it's a great opportunity because I definitely like welcoming people in with good D&D experiences. I can't always provide good D&D experiences. I am also human. But it's nice to at least put the effort out there.
Yeah.
on that very positive note, like I am the messiah of Mercer 2.0, who's no longer a DM, and I don't follow Critical Role, but what's going on with that? Mercer, if you're reading, like, like, subscribe, and post. What the hell, man? The ray of sunshine. The celestial has left the building. It's nothing but wrath. I'm gonna close down the stream. Thanks, Aaron. I'll talk to you later.
Yep.
All right, bye guys.
And